Primetime. What time is it? Showtime Primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C., Matt Hayes,
big asses, big thighs, yeah.
Mia O'Brien,
Bent over and let it happen.
and Leon Searcy.
So they were smelling themselves.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
You know what I smell right now? The delicious smell of brew. Now, we've got craft brew, but in particular, I smell the brew of Mokama coffee, as we are here at Mokama Beer Company, but they serve coffee every single day of the week, and your flavor, you can find it, that's for sure. We welcome you to the Dina, Fernandina Beach, Nassau Nooners. We'd love to see you if you have time to bounce over here, cross the bridge, come on over to Mokama Beer Company, the tap room right here in beautiful Fernandina Beach. I always like to say it like that. They're on South 8th, just as soon as you're coming into the historic district, and you will see this old 1950s car dealership that they have transformed into a beautiful tap room, a coffee house. You can see all the work that's going on behind the master craftsmanship that's taking place, and Ernest and Simon and Casey, they all welcome us here. When we've been up here before, we've had a great time. We're going to have another great time today.
We got the Philly cheesesteak food truck, too, which I know we're very pumped about that.
That's true. So you can come get your cheesesteak and a cold beer.
And a coffee.
Yeah, and a coffee. So you can start with a coffee, finish with the craft, but you can get the flights, and we always like to tell you about the great recipes that they come up with, so we'll be bragging on them throughout the day. I'm an IPA man, but that doesn't mean I don't love the Pilsners, the Stouts, the Lagers, the Fruited, the Sours. They have all of them, so we'll go through them today. Now, confession time. Ernest and everybody here said, we want you here right before the Jags playoff game. Okay? Right before the Jags
My favorite
playoff
is
game.
Simon, not to bury the lead, but my favorite is Simon, who was in England on Sunday, watching the game from afar and just thinking, this cannot be happening. So don't worry, it wasn't just all of Duval that was less jubilant than they expected to be. We had people across the pond looking around like, what are we doing?
And JJ did cue the music there. So, there's tears in our eyes, I guess, that's for sure.
We don't want to bury the lead on that front. We're excited to be at Mokama, but yes, Matt, I am seeing it as well.
Let's do a little
news, JJ.
Yeah, right now.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So it has been a wickedly traumatic last 45 days for Florida State, beginning with the injury to Jordan Travis, then the snub by the playoff, then getting beat by 60 after all the opt-outs, then the 2-year probation, which we are going to get into, that was just handed down yesterday. But Mike Alford, the AD at Florida State, just tweeted out a GIF of black smoke rising from the Papal. Black smoke means no decision, right?
Right. Most of the time,
he also tagged the president of Florida State and Mike Norvell. In other words, you're not getting in Bama.
Yeah. And listen, everyone needs to wall themselves off and protect what they have. Why did they build the fort back in the day, the Castillo de San Marcos down in the Og? Is because they were protecting themselves from, they were under siege. And Florida State probably feels like they're under siege a little bit, starting with the Travis injury like Matt mentioned, and then not getting in the playoff because of that, and then now the whole ACC discussion and maybe Mike Norvell being poached. All of that is out there. Listen, we're going to drill down on Florida State today and spend some time on it. So we hope that you Noles fans will get in on it.
So that's, real quick, so that's 3 now off the board. That's Sarkisian, that's Lanning, and now Mike Norvell.
Yeah, if
the 3 major guys that were connected to that job.
Right, and I want to hear
because they are all Jimmy Sexton clients.
And so is Lane.
Lanning and Norvell are. Sark too? Yeah,
Sark
okay.
Yeah. So is Lane, and eventually they're going to have to go to Lane whether they like it or not.
Right, and look, if you end up there, you didn't land in a bad spot.
No.
So we will get to that. How about another that on the NFL side?
Actually, no, we're not going to get to the NFL side. First, we have a Gators that. A lot of breaking news as we begin the program.
Happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Montrell Johnson has told Gators Online in an exclusive interview that he will be returning to Gainesville this fall.
Okay, that's good news for Florida, and I'm sure Billy was gutted by the reality that Trevor Etienne said, no, Moss, I need to go somewhere where I'm going to be more of the featured back. And then what does he do? He goes to the rival. And so keeping Montrell Johnson is key. There's no question about that.
You mean from transferring to another school, right? Yeah, that's what he means.
Well, yeah, from not bolting.
He's like a 6th, 7th round pick.
Right. You can always go to the NFL, and you can still make $500,000. We always need to point that out, is that if you want to go and you don't want to go to school anymore or pretend that you're in school,
right,
then going to the NFL is still a $500,000 gig if you can make it. And Montreal, at the very least,
saying he's not going to go to Illinois or somewhere.
Yeah. But at the very least, Montreal looks like he's got the body type to make an NFL roster. But, yeah, more than anything else, all he's trying to do is save his roster in any way, shape, or form. Look, we did all this yesterday talking about Nick Saban, and I do firmly believe, the fatigue of how you have to manage your roster in today's college football world. You can just say college sports world, including basketball and others in this conversation. It is hard as hell to maintain a roster on a day-to-day basis. Nothing is guaranteed anymore, and I believe that was one of the main things for Nick Saban. But Montrell Johnson staying in Gainesville is, at least you can call it a good get for Billy Napier, because that's what he did need ultimately to happen. All right, so we got so much to get into. One more of that, just so we can at least trifecta it up, and now to the NFL.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I was told to hold off until they told us, but since the AP posted it, I think I can say it. Ross Matisic officially named the first-team All-Pro long snapper, according to the Associated Press. That is according to Rob Mattey, one of the senior writers who already tweeted out all of the honorees. So congrats to Ross.
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. If you don't have an All-Pro snapper, you don't have much, and Duval's got an All-Pro snapper. So round of applause for Ross Matisic for really, look, we're looking far and wide for anything that says All-Pro in Duval. And after losing 5 of 6, I don't know if that's going to be the salve you were looking for. You would rather have an All-Pro, maybe, I don't know, Josh Allen or somebody like that.
Quarterback.
Yeah, I didn't even want to go there after all the discussion on Jaguars today. I love my man Terrence, because every time Mike comes at him, Terrence always goes, Mike. It is just absolutely classic. All right.
We do have a tweet from Mike Norvell now as of 30 seconds ago, so let's read that before we get into everything else going on in the world of sports here in Northeast Florida. Great day to be a Florida State Seminole. The hashtag climb continues. Grateful to lead the Knoll family with our incredible staff. Appreciate President McCullough, of course, A.D. Alford, and Seminoles for continued commitment on our journey back to the top. The future is bright in Tallahassee. Man, oh man, Matt, I would think a pretty nice bag he just got.
Well, it's the first good news for Florida State in a long time. Like yesterday's news, and I feel like we're kind of like bearing the lead. They were put on 2 years probation yesterday.
Yeah, we need to
by the NCAA
touch on that too
for illegalities in the NIL world. Mm-hmm. When they're going to be the first of many, I would say, many universities that are going to go down this road, because there's a lot of what is Dave Campbell? What's his word? Hubbly bubbly, he says. A lot of hanky panky going on in the NIL world.
Hubbly bubbly. All right, so explain to everybody out there how can you get in trouble with the NIL?
Well, you can't. So what Atkins did was he actually took a player and a family, drove them to the house of an NIL of one of their boosters.
He
who was
ushered
with the
them
NIL.
to
Correct.
the deal. He brokered
Correct.
the deal almost.
And that was prior to the state of Florida saying the universities can be part of. Not brokering's not the right word. Mm-hmm. Can be a middleman of sorts. Okay,
mm-hmm.
So this happened prior to that, and it's illegal contact is what it is.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So it's not unlike recruiting. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and you can come up with your idea of whether or not that's just over the top, or whether it is within. The violations that you need to have some set of rules, and if they violate them, you need to be able to have the power to penalize them. Now, we can go on and on and on about whether or not the NCAA has the power to do a whole hell of a lot, but they, at the very least, are trying to govern this NIL in some way, shape, or form. And the whole idea was NIL dollars are going to come from outside the university. The university will not have anything to do with it. At least that was the early part of it.
And then it was the offer to Amaris Mims, the Georgia offensive tackle, who I believe has turned pro. I'm not sure if he has or hadn't yet. I think he will if he hasn't. $15,000 a month they were offering him to transfer to Florida State.
Okay. And so that's where you're at. And so, honestly, for Florida State, you Noles fans, let us know. 641-1010, you get into the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. A big old sigh of relief hearing Mike or reading what Mike Norvell just posted on X, what the athletics director just said. And look, the ACC, they were looking angrily, Tallahassee was, at the ACC, saying, what the heck, man? We have no clout. This league carries nothing. And here we are about to be poached again by losing our coach. If they hang on to him, and I don't know what the money is going to be, but I'm sure those dollars are up there for Mike Norvell. They got to be way up there.
Oh, I bet he's close to $9 or $10 million right now.
Yeah,
that would be my guess.
In that neighborhood. And that's honestly what you're trying to you're trying to figure out the best way to make sure that you preserve what you've built. And if you look at the composite rankings and the 24/7 transfer portal rankings going into yesterday, Florida State had descended to the top of that bad boy because of what Mike Norvell is so good at doing. All right, so we'll get into that. We're going to get into our playoffs today. We are at Mocama Beer Company, hanging out beautiful Fernandina Beach, South 8th Street. As soon as you come into the Historic District, you'll see the sign if you're coming in, Historic District, and then boom, just kind of look to your left, and you'll see this big, beautiful tap room. And they also have the Wildlight location up here in Nassau County, so make sure you check that out if you are a what can I call him? A wild lighter? I don't know, something like that.
But every time I drive down A1A to this place and I see wild light, I start seeing
It's
Van Morrison.
incredible how big that development is. I'm telling you, it's going to stretch to Georgia when we're all said
Probably,
and done.
when all is said and done. Since we brought up Lane Kiffin, and we will, of course, dive through the litany of potential candidates, although it continues to shrink, for the head coaching position at the University of Alabama. Shout out to my good buddy Darren Stoltzfus, the sports director at West in Orlando. He just tweeted this out, Matt, and I know you're going to love this. 14th anniversary of Lane Kiffin's exodus from Tennessee. Finally saw a reverse angle shot with me running a camera. I was a senior student TV station president, got tipped off he was leaving, grabbed a camera, got to the facility, electric, pure chaos. 14 years ago to the day today.
Think about that journey that old Lane's been on since a decade and a half, basically. Basically bolting out of there, going to sunny Southern California.
Leaving after a year, going to the best job in college football at the time, USC.
Yeah.
Then and having to deal with the 30, think about that, 30 lost scholarships over 3 years.
Heavy-duty sanctions at that time by the NCAA.
Gets fired on the tarmac after losing to Arizona State. At 4 a.m, gets fired on the tarmac. Then he goes into seclusion. Then Nick says, I need to completely change what I'm doing offensively. So he hires Lane and gives him complete control of the offense. Think about that. His meticulous process that he had, that Nick had built. He let an outsider come in who had a history of just blowing things up and gave him complete control of the offense and changed everything in Saban's offense. Everything. Changed the way they did everything. They won championships.
Basically,
and then he goes to FAU.
If you think about it, that's right.
But before then, he gets fired before the national championship game because he's trying to recruit coaches and players to FAU while he's preparing for the national championship game. So Nick said, all right, I've had enough of that. You're out. I'm going to let Sark call the plays from the national championship game.
Nick,
and then he goes to FAU.
Yeah, Nick doesn't give you an opponenty just so you can hose him in the end.
No. So he
rehabilitated Lane Kiffin.
He did. He goes to FAU, wins a conference championship immediately, and then goes to Ole Miss. And look what he's done at Ole Miss. He is with all these guys coming off the board, Lanning's off the board, Sark's off the board, Novell's off the board. You're not hiring Kalen DeBoer. As good as he is, you're not bringing a guy who's spent his entire coaching career out west into the SEC. You're just not doing that.
Yeah.
Lane is the guy. There's no choice right now. He's got to hire Lane Kiffin.
All right, let's pair this up with New England and think about the things that are in play here. Alabama should have their pick of the litter. Alabama is Alabama. It's Roll Tide Roll. It's history. It's historic. It's everything. And they should have their pick of coaches that would line up to go there. And yet you now have 3 no's. Now we can go down the road of athletics directors that have tried to hire coaches and they feel like they kind of either get embarrassed or shown up or whatever when they don't get yeses. This is Alabama. That 3 people, at least the way the word is right now, Lanning, thanks but no thanks. Norvell, okay, I just got a bump, I'm good. And Sark, I like where I'm at. And now you've got Dabo and you got Lane. Okay.
Which wasn't there a report this morning that Dabo's not interested, or was that
right? And at least I haven't seen the full proclamation from Dabo.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it seems to me he's made it clear, and I'm not going to add him to the list just yet. But that's 4. Okay, that's 4.
Maybe Alabama will end up with Sharknado.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't that be
Bring him back
something?
home. Bring him back home. I'd love to see Jimmy McElwain head back to Tuscaloosa to T-Town. That'd be great. But let's just add Dabo, and we'll kind of keep an eye on what he says. But how many no's does Alabama get? How many did they expect to get? And Lane, I can't imagine, would say no. But I looked at the story and I want you to hit this because Reese Davis did the sit down with Nick, and there was a lot covered in there, and there's a lot written off of it. And it goes back to our argument yesterday, not argument, just discussion yesterday about whether or not fatigue got to Nick Saban in terms of getting the job done. What killed me in that interview, and I'll have to pull up the exact quote, but he basically said one of the main reasons why he stepped away is because he felt like he couldn't put in the time to keep the standard up. And I say to myself, bro, that standard that you set, no one can even get to, and you're disappointed because you think you can't maintain that standard?
That's
crazy.
I think the way he said it was more along the lines of, I would spend 12, 14, 16 hours a day in the office when I'm 50 and when I'm 60. I can do that then.
Yeah.
I'm 72 now. It's different now. Like he said, that's anybody in any job, and I think that's what it is.
It's not just the Alabama standard. It's Nick's standard.
It's Nick's standard.
Well,
and that's 100%.
It's a lot of that. It's Nick's standard. It's the investment that it takes to recruit constantly, to coach constantly, to game plan, to prepare. It's all of that. I mean, it's a big job, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to go coach in the NFL right now. A lot easier.
I don't know about that.
Oh, it's 100% easier, Joe.
No way.
There's literally free agency in college football with no salary cap.
True. Listen, they've had more. All right, how about this? The college football world has been blessed with the way things have set up. With all the way up until now, if you are good, you're going to stay good because recruits want to come play for you, okay? And you don't get to, like in the NFL, you win, you go to the back of the line when it comes to picking talent. College football has never suffered from that, ever. And so Nick Saban and Kirby, for that matter, they have first-rounders lining up for them every single recruiting season. It's the best built-in system to maintain anything in sports. The best. And now, finally, they got to deal with some adversity on player retention.
Yeah, in the last 2 or 3 years since the
NFL
was implemented.
But the NFL,
the best example is Washington.
Yeah, the NFL is hard as hell.
The year before that, the best example is TCU.
Yep.
We can go on and on.
Yeah.
Because
you could argue Florida State as well, by the way.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You can get good quick in college football. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is whereas before it was very difficult to what you're saying, now it's wide open.
But just look at the 21st century.
There's no salary cap,
Yeah.
and there's no constraint on players. With the NFL, at least you have the cap.
Yeah.
At least you have an ability to constrain players.
Sure, but
at least you also have a general manager who's overseeing all that, so you can focus on coaching.
Right,
That's
they
the exact
do
reason that
everything.
Dan Mullen wanted out of Florida
Yeah.
and wanted to jump to the NFL.
It's way easier to coach in the NFL.
He just wanted to
You are
focus on
so
X's and O's.
crazy on
Then,
that.
hang
That
on,
is
hang on.
absolute
Then
nuts.
you have to worry about they got to go to class. They got to stay out of trouble because you're the point man for all that.
Yeah, deal with it. But you're absolutely nuts because you have professionals.
What do you do in the NFL? You coach football.
Well, yeah, you're either good at it or you're not, and other guys are eating you alive if you're not.
And that's different how in college football?
Because in college football, you get first-rounders on top of first-rounders on top of first-rounders every offseason.
If you're at Alabama or Georgia.
Yes, I'm talking about the ones that are on top. I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about the ones that are on
Okay, so
top.
then you're talking about just Alabama and Georgia.
No, I'm talking about
Who
the top.
else?
I'm talking about the top 10. Hey, in the 21st century, look at how many different.
Michigan's recruiting class average was 18 over the last 4 years.
I don't care.
18.
Do you think he's got it good? Do you think he has it easier at
No.
Michigan than he has in the National
Way
Football League?
easier, yes.
Oh my God.
Way easier in the NFL than college football. He developed that roster.
Yeah,
he
did,
developed
because
a quarterback.
Because he could go out and recruit a bunch of guys that were all first-round level. Are you kidding me?
The number is in, by the way, JJ. Let's hit that as far as what Mike Norvell is now going to make.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
According to Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports, Mike Norvell and Florida State have agreed to a new 8-year contract that will pay him more than $10 million annually.
Oh, that's cheddar right there.
Jimmy
ladies and gentlemen.
Sexton stays winning, baby. Doesn't matter that he didn't get him the Bama job. I don't think he wanted the Bama job, especially if Florida State was willing to fork over $1 million less than what Nick Saban made a year ago.
You know, you can picture Mel Kiper's big board right now, right? You can picture all the prospects. That's what Sexton has with his coaches. He just got the big board. He's like, okay, I could move him into this sixth spot in pay and go get him that job, or I could move him up into that fourth spot and get him to stay where he's at. It's incredible what he can do.
So let's real quick. I want to circle back to Florida State just to explain something. They're on 2 years of probation. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean they have a bowl ban. They do not have a bowl ban. They do not have television sanctions, anything.
Yeah, NCAA does not strip that anymore.
What they have is they've lost I think 6 scholarships, 5 or 6 scholarships. They've lost time to recruit. Like
over the 2 year period, right?
Right. They're not allowed to. They have to wait 6 days to start recruiting in this period, which began, I believe, today or yesterday. So they have to wait for 6 days before they can go out on the road and recruit. So it's things like that is what it is, as much as anything. But to be fair, is once you're on, now they are on probation. So if something else happens, then that's when the NCAA really comes down. Then then that's when you could start seeing a problem of you're losing your bowl, etc.
So one more quote from Nick as we talk about the easiest job in America. I actually thought that in hiring coaches, recruiting players, that my age started to become a little bit of an issue. People wanted assurances that I would be here for 3 years, 5 years, whatever, and it got harder and harder for me to be honest about it. And to be honest, this last season, this is the part that I zeroed in on, and to be honest, this last season was grueling. It was a real grind for us to come from where we started to where we got to. Took a little more out of me than usual, and I do think that's the part that gets him more than anything else. What he accomplished this year was as great a coaching job as he probably has done at Alabama, because he did not know through the entire offseason who his quarterback was. Finally, one of them finally separated. Then he sagged. Then he wanted to sit him down. Then there might have been a player revolt, and then he pulled it all together. I thought it was a sinking ship coming out of South Florida.
I do encourage all of our Nooners, after our program is over, of course, to go check out the interview with Reese Davis, because it's extremely telling. Number one, do want to dispel what I thought had to be the reason. I know several of you have texted in on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures suggesting this rumor is true. Mm-hmm. He says it has nothing to do with his health, or it has nothing to do with Miss Terry's health. That is what he told Reese Davis, so that's what we're going to roll with. To your point, Joe, what was almost emotional to hear him say was that 5 minutes before the 4 o'clock meeting on Wednesday, he had 2 speeches prepared for his team, and he was on the phone with Miss Terry trying to figure out which speech he was going to give. And the speech that he did give was the one in which he said, look, I'm about to ask all of you to make a 12-month commitment right now to this team, and I can't make that commitment, and that's why it's time for me to step away.
And I love the honesty. Like I said, I have fun with Bama fan. I like railing on Nick from time to time, but if you don't have respect for what that dude did, oh my gosh, it was just nonstop push for perfection and nonstop perfection. And I wanted to pair it up with, just real quick as we get ready to kind of ease into the National Football League and the fact that the Jaguars are not in the postseason, there were guys on this staff that were accused of not putting in the work. I think that's fair to say. And Nick basically saying that not just the standard of going out and putting a winning team together and getting to a bowl game and competing for a conference championship, his standard was playing for it all every single season. And if he couldn't do it, he wasn't going to keep doing it. And isn't it crazy? Those guys are, I always say rare is rare. Those guys are so flipping rare, and that's what Nick Saban's done. And there aren't too many of them. So let's just at least set this up, Matt, coming up here in just a second. Who are the best coaches in our sports today, now that Nick and Belichick stepped away? And you can throw Pete Carroll into this conversation if you want. Like we said, if you add up the titles, you're looking at 7 Super Bowls, 8 Natties, 9 something in that neighborhood. Was it 7 for Nick and 1 for Pete Carroll? Maybe 1 vacated one. And so,
couple for Pete.
Yeah.
If you include the AP title.
Yeah, I was going to say, 1 vacated, 1 or whatever.
2003 when LSU won the BCS.
And so you're talking about a lot of hardware. So how does it add up to you top 5 in the NFL, top 5, and maybe Bill Belichick had already slipped below your top 5, which was fair because of what was going on, the way he wasn't putting together wins. That's fine, but still he's the flipping GOAT when it comes to coaches in the National Football League. So we'll do that coming up. Mokama Beer Company, we'd love to see you. Now, here's what they do. They basically time out your day where you can come here, you can enjoy a delicious cup of coffee, and they will prepare it right there for you. They got, well, can I call them baristas here? I'm looking at Simon. They are baristas. I'm just making sure that that's not like some trademark term. No, it's baristas making up this great brew here at Mokama. They make it fresh every single day for you, their brand, their blend, and then you can, of course, get ready for the tap room to open with delicious craft throughout the day and into the weekend. Just because the Jags aren't here doesn't mean you can't come here and enjoy some playoff football beginning tomorrow all the way through Monday night. Happening here at Mokama Beer Company. Don't forget, you can find them on the shelves at Total or ABC, and log on mokama.com.
Mia here. Want to freshen up your home or business for the new year? Look no further than my friends at Window Gang. Window Gang is America's #1 cleaning company with over 35 years of experience. They offer a full range of services, including window cleaning, blind cleaning, gutters, roof cleaning, pressure washing, dryer vent cleaning, chimney sweeping, and more. Window Gang's courteous and friendly staff is always on time, and they are not done until the job is done right. Your satisfaction guaranteed. Just check out their Google reviews online, and you'll see why people love Window Gang. Call them today at 262-7300 to schedule your free estimate, and don't forget to ask about those New Year's specials. Again, that's Window Gang at 262-7300. Whether it's residential or commercial, make sure you give them a call today. Window Gang, service beyond your expectations.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Your home for Florida Gators basketball is 1010XL.
It's a Saturday afternoon in Arkansas. Gators Razorbacks at 4 on 1010XL.
Mia here, and gear up, sports fans. The NFL playoffs are here, and it's time to get in on the action with MyBookie. Don't just watch, score big with exclusive boosted odds and huge prize contests that'll have you feeling the Super Bowl fever before it even hits. Whether you're a seasoned pro or ready to roll for the first time, MyBookie is your ticket to turning your sports knowledge into cold, hard cash. MyBookie has the largest online lineup of odds and contests and Vegas-style casino games, making it your ultimate destination for all types of fun 24/7 right at your fingertips. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, the wait is over. Make your winning move today and sign up at MyBookie using promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit match up to $1,000. That's right, 1010XL promo code for an opportunity to boost your betting power. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home, because with MyBookie, you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Join MyBookie today and be part of the winning team.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Wondering what you're going to do for dinner tonight? Southern Steer Butcher is a full-service butcher, and we grind and make sausage in-house every day.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Sometimes you agree with him, sometimes you don't.
On the runway, I'm coming in hot.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey there, Jacksonville. This is Jeff Norman.
And I'm Mike Jones.
And we're the owners of Duck Duck Rooter and want to wish you a Happy New Year.
As we dive into 2024, remember that Duck Duck Rooter is here for all your plumbing, AC, and septic needs.
No matter the size of the project or issue, we've got your back.
So, for a worry-free year, trust our team experts at Duck Duck Rooter.
Call us today at 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Happy New Year, Jacksonville. We are here for you.
Whether you're undertaking a major home renovation or just a simple repair request, American Electrical is your 5-star Jacksonville-based electrician to get the work done right. Experienced design building department working seamlessly with their electrical contracting department to help you create beautiful lighting spaces and electrical plans that make your house flow. And remember, with American Electrical, it's wired right at a fair price. Call American Electric at 737-7770. Look for that red, white, and blue eagle on the side of their truck, and you'll know it's American Electrical.
After consulting with several orthopedic specialists about my constant knee pain, I chose Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and Dr. Chris Swanson to handle my surgery. Their professionalism let me know this team was the one for me. The surgery was very successful, and if I ever have a future need, I'll continue to trust Southeast Orthopedic Specialists to take care of me.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
What is the future of Calvin Ridley with the Jaguars? Former Jaguars linebacker Tom McManus this morning on Jaguars Today.
You paying him $20 million a year? 4 years, 80?
That's a good question.
That's more than Christian Kirk's getting paid here.
Well, before I answer that, I'd like to know the truth on the routes. If he forgets them, if he doesn't know them, nobody's going to say it, but I see it. I know he either doesn't know what he's doing at times, forgets what he's doing at times. I've seen the frustration. Now, granted, he makes great plays too, so I don't want him to go. But if he's going to go rogue too many times, meaning he doesn't run the right route or is in the wrong spot, that's a big gamble giving him that kind of money.
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
Oh, those Fernandina, Nassau County Nooners. They got the word that we're at Mocama Beer Company. And if you haven't, this is your alert. We are hanging out here at Mocama Beer Company until 3 p.m. today. They got the Philly cheesesteak food truck outside, coffee, beer, everything you could ask for. It's a little slice of heaven up in Nassau County, so stop on by and say hi. A lot of you already have. We are excited to be hanging out with you, and we are excited to continue the conversation with regards to all that is happening at Florida State in the college football ranks. Who will be Alabama's next coach? I volunteer as tribute because at this point in time, Josie, I'm not sure anyone wants to be the head coach at Alabama.
I think that's what it is. I'm a little more stunned than anything else that you're not knocking down doors to get that job, as I maintain. That is such a well-oiled, well-run machine. Now, that's Nick, okay? You can't just walk anybody in there and expect to have the same type of success, but the Nick plan works. Kirby's proven that by going to Georgia doing the exact same thing. And by the way, Kirby also gets to sign first-rounders left and right because you can just take a look at the position groups that he gets to sign every single year. Best linebacker in America, best running back in America, best quarterback in America, whatever it might be. It's just nuts once you get it rolling. The resources are there. The support is there. The fandom is there. So, I'm still making my point.
You're still arguing this?
Yeah.
No, not the NFL versus college.
Which I know I'm right
We'll
there.
get back to that.
Yeah,
no, we're
that's
we're
another
arguing,
day.
We're arguing, Matt. I said I volunteer as tribute. I will be Alabama's head coach because right now, the point that our good buddy High Tide on the South Side just made on the text line yesterday, no one wants to be the guy after the guy.
How do we know anyone was offered that job?
That's another thing.
We don't.
Yeah, I don't know that no one wants to be the guy that follows him. I think I think Alabama's trying to find the right guy now.
Yeah, but let's also make it clear, at the very least, to JJ's point, we don't know if they've been offered.
But Jimmy Sexton's out there is working and telling these guys, hey, Alabama's coming after
There's all
him.
sorts of intermediaries that are having back-channel conversations. And, by the way, Kirk Herbstreit is one of those guys, okay? You may not realize it. He is one of those guys.
Maybe Greg Burns interested in someone in Gainesville.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Billy.
Former Alabama assistant, know.
Yeah, Billy.
What about the former Alabama assistant in Miami, in Coral Gables?
Yeah. Bring him home. Mario was there, too. But here's the other thing. And it's funny because I heard from Bama fan, and they're like, we don't want those guys. And I'm interested to see what they do want. You guys can hit the text line at 641-1010 and let us know. But even though we don't know that the job's been offered, I credit the other universities, and I guess we might include Clemson in this conversation. Those ADs, those presidents, those big wheels,
getting them signed,
proactively said, we ain't letting you go.
Nasty cash.
Yeah.
And that's what Mike Norvell just received. And here's the other criticism of Florida State for the longest time. They didn't keep up paying assistants, and didn't keep up with their recruiting budget. All those have turned a major corner. They've got a collective. They've got the NIL support, and they also were able to hire assistants because Kirby, remember, when he went there, he demanded a big old ransom for recruiting and for his assistants. And Norvell said the only way we're going to compete is – yeah, exactly. And, help me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Billy got it too, right? Billy got him a big old recruiting budget and a big old.
Believe he did.
And a big old coaching
unlimited
budget
is what he got.
Where he could hire 17 game-changing coordinators, and he hasn't done as much with that. Okay, but there are plenty of those that get that full support, and that's where I know that Greg Burns probably being smart about this, realizing that there are great situations that others have in other places, and don't go reaching too far. Be cautious, be smart, and as much as you say Lane's in this conversation. I don't think Deion.
No, I think Lane's the fallback. I think Lane is the flag.
I don't think Primetime should ever be dismissed.
So who's the go-to then? Who's the target?
I mean, at this point, I don't. I've heard Mike Loxley. He's not hiring. There's no way you can hire Mike Loxley for that job.
And Mike Loxley is at Maryland and was under.
He was under Saban, but he was also part of the Saban rehabilitation program.
Yeah, he's regarded as an unbelievable recruiter.
Especially in the DMV, which is why he's in Maryland.
A really good recruiter, a good offensive mind. He's not the next Alabama coach.
Yeah, right.
My guess is you start looking at guys like Jed Fish at Arizona.
Right.
Those are guys I think that probably you could get away with hiring. If they hired Mike Loxley, that place would just – no, it just wouldn't happen.
Well, the other thing is that
wouldn't happen.
Jed Fish, and I'll make this 10-10 take because honestly, what he has. All right, hit it, JJ.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
They're all over the First Coast. They will take care of you when it comes to good barbecue. And the one thing I think about with Jed Fish, you want to talk about a nice little reclamation project. We just Mia mentioned 14 years ago was when Lane Kiffin was exiting Knoxville, and just how much he's gone through and been through and survived and succeeded with and all that stuff. Jed Fish left Miami and came here under Gus Bradley as a first-year offensive coordinator in the National Football League. Have you heard of that before? There are plenty. I used to call this place the Technical Center because they would hire people who had never done the job that they were being hired for before. Never before was Dave Caldwell a GM. Never before was Gus Bradley head coach. Never before was Jed Fish an offensive coordinator. On and on and on, the list goes. Well, anyway, Jed Fish gets bounced out of here, ultimately just hangs on, goes to Michigan. You can think of the places he's been, Matt. He's been around.
UCLA, yeah.
And then he basically rehabilitates his image in terms of just a coaching success, goes to Arizona when they think it's slim pickings down there. And what has he done?
It was awful when he got there.
Yeah, he's done a hell of a good job there, and I don't know if he's going to be that next great up-and-comer offensive mind and destined to be a great head coach. But we have tied him to Gainesville a year from now already. Already. And that's the 10-10 take, and here he is. He might float to the top.
So he could be a guy, but I'm not trying to say this is unique to Mike Locksley. If they hired Mike Locksley, that place would go crazy. If they hired, whoever, if they hired.
I say you bring back Jimbo, another assistant.
If they hired Kalen DeBoer, I think there's people there that would be not happy about that. If they hired You can go down the list of guys. Brent Key from Georgia Tech, or if they hire Glenn Schumann, the DC from Georgia,
which
there
was
would
just
be
thrown
people,
out, by the way, by the text
yeah,
line.
there would be people that would be very upset about that. So I mean, here's the thing: if he hires Kiffin, the place will be crazy about it. Okay,
yeah.
But the point is, I don't think that Greg Byrne is that type of guy. Greg Byrne and Strickland are very similar. They're best friends. They're very similar. They don't want to go reach out into the outside the box of a guy like that who could bring more than what you want into your program. You know what I mean?
They're going to err on the side of caution.
They will. But the point I'm making with Kiffin is he's not the same guy he was at Tennessee or USC or FAU. Or he's a different.
He's not.
He's not only a different coach. He's a different man. He's a different person.
Right.
So I think it's foolish for Alabama to not see the obvious. The obvious is Kiffin. He's the obvious hire. And it hasn't happened yet, so my guess is it's not going to happen unless he panics and realizes, I'm not going to hire Tommy Rees. I'm not going to hire whoever. I'm not going to do that. Then he almost has to hire him. But he's a different guy, and I keep saying this.
Well,
He's a different man. He's not immature anymore. He's not childish. He relates to the young players now.
The tweets
they love
are
him.
to relate. The tweets are to relate and to get attention to Ole Miss, a brand that had been left for dead.
He's a master.
No college football relates to the young kids like he does. None of them do.
And I'm sure, if you go back in time, you can come up with a bunch of strikes against Lane Kiffin, like you just described. I could even go back to him being a quality control coach in Duval. Okay, quality control coach. And was considered just nothing but a brat.
Yeah.
An absolute spoiled brat.
Because he was.
And he was, because he was Monty's son and all that stuff. Well, anyway, we all know what has happened. And by the way, I'll never forget the story. So I got buddy who's got one son at FAU, and Lane's taking a picture with his girlfriend, and the son is panicked that Lane's going to poach her. And so those days are gone, okay? Those days are gone. And even the Bama fan has pointed out that was kind of stylistically how Lane rolled back in the day. He's not going to be doing that in T-Town.
Not only that, D'Amico Ryans is not leaving the Texans job to coach Alabama. It's not happening.
Well, I thought it was easier. He probably should.
No,
but
anyway. He's got one of 32 jobs. He's not leaving that to take the Alabama job.
How easy
no
was it
way.
for
So the
him?
Alabama job is the job in college football.
No, I'm saying the NFL job is easier. He's got it easier and better there.
It's perfectly easy.
He's got a quarterback there that he can have for 12 years as opposed to a quarterback you got to recruit every year.
Right. Yeah. Just stop it. You're wrong in this. Stop. Okay.
It's proof in his pudding. He just went and won the AFC South like it was nothing.
Let's pivot to a couple other names, a couple other scenarios, and then we're also going to circle back to the Jags, rest assured. I do like this conversation, though, that JJ is having with one of our listeners on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Shout out to 200. Jimmy Sexton is pushing all these candidate names out to the media, reworking their contracts while physically at Bama, all while Alabama is talking with their true targets. The Dabo noise is way too quiet. When the media says these candidates are talking with Alabama, that just means their ADs are talking to Sexton, who is physically at Bama, who is saying whatever he wants to say about mutual interest.
So I will say this. There's a lot of truth to the idea. Look, that's Jimmy Sexton's job. I don't know why anybody's upset about him for that, because that's what his job is. That's what he does.
Moves the meter for the people he works for.
If he's telling Florida State that Alabama's coming after him, what are you going to do? That's what Mike Norvell pays him to do.
Yeah.
That's what all these coaches pay him to do. So
Keep
there's
my name in the funnel.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. So I'm looking at these potential coaches like they'd be furious if Mike Gundy was hired. Furious at Alabama. Lance
Mullet doesn't play well.
Leipold is intriguing. He's intriguing.
He's a guy from Kansas.
He's definitely intriguing.
As soon as he stepped out,
they'd be furious if James Franklin was hired. They'd be furious.
And last year I was stumping for Leipold because of just how bad Billy had gotten off the ground in Gainesville, and it's of course lived on this year. Meanwhile, Leipold's done some pretty good things in Kansas back-to-back years, and heck, you can go to Kansas and Kansas State. Different schedule that they play.
Different
history
for both football programs.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you take a Kalen DeBoer, a Leipold, some of these guys
that are out of the Saban tree.
Yeah,
they're off the beaten path.
They are legit.
Well, they're out of the South
too.
They're out of the South too. You got to remember that.
Yes, they are legit. They come in and they turn programs around much faster than some that have done it around here.
So 2 other names that have been floated on the text line, and I know Andy Staples, our good buddy, also brought this one up, and I think it's an interesting conversation. So the first one, before we get to the one that Andy floated, is Bill O'Brien, who obviously has gone back and forth between the National Football League, college. He has recruited for Saban, worked under Saban. Obviously, it did not go well up in New England this past season, but he obviously has history in both.
Did a hell of a job at Penn State.
Right.
A hell of a job.
Mm-hmm.
And then did a hell of a job
As
with the
an
Houston
HC,
Texans. So let's throw that name out there and then discuss that. The other one, what if the guy is already in the building? Would they hire a 31-year-old Tommy Rees?
No chance.
No.
If everyone else says
no.
Does Tommy Rees do all the dominoes fall and he's the last man standing?
If you hire Tommy Rees over not only Lane Kiffin but over 5 or 6 other guys that would be nice fits for that job that are current coaches, you're out of your mind.
Right. It would be
a colossal fail.
Yeah. It's like it borders on. Unthinkable, impossible, would never happen because Tommy Rees was already a question mark when Nick hired him just as the OC. Like, what? You said, what? Tommy Rees is the offensive coordinator? And look, the thing is that he's a guy who I
fail
thought
of unimaginable proportions.
Yeah. I thought he turned the corner a little bit when it came to play calling. That I liked, and working with Milroe and coming up with an offense that in the end was much better than the way it started. But there's no way he would get it. And then I laugh when I do see on the text line Bobby Petrino to Bama. That makes me smile.
No, before you do that, you go.
That makes me smile.
You go throw money at Drinkwitz. You go throw money at Heupel. There's so many other options before. Talking about Tommy
and look.
Well, so the texter then brings up the fact that, quote, Daddy is still there. We did hear in the Reese Davis interview last night that he is going to keep an office, which there's 2 different versions of keeping an office, as we've learned from Roy Williams and Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah.
The office is going to be at the stadium, not at the football facility. And he said to his players, I can still get on your butt from there, but he's not going to be day-to-day overseeing, babysitting, if you may.
And it's like,
no, of course not. He would be the last guy to meddle into something. He's not going to do that. Just like Spurrier didn't do it.
Exactly. The HBC is who I was going to bring up. When SOS got his office inside the stadium, he backed off. He said, hey, if they want a suggestion here or whatever, they can come see me. They can come see me.
I'm right down the hall.
Yeah, and so that's all fine, but I can't imagine. Nick needs to, like he said, I can't commit. And therefore, it's going to be hands-off. Recommendations here or there, sure, I'll be happy to do that. But he will be sucked back into his own vortex or whatever you want to call it, as far as all of a sudden managing everything. He's not going to do that.
So for
you're going to let the next guy pass or fail.
For all this talk of the guy after the guy, let's quickly pivot to New England because it's official. The New England Patriots have hired Gerard Mayo as their next head coach of their franchise, their first head coaching hire in 24 years. It was in his contract when he became a defensive assistant in 2019, and I would assume since he's renegotiated a couple of times that he was the head coach in waiting. This is not completely out of the ordinary. Jim Caldwell did the same thing with the Colts, Eric DeCosta as the GM of the Baltimore Ravens, so it's not completely out of left field. But in 24 hours since Bill Belichick said goodbye, they have their guy, and I hate to say it, boys, Mike Vrabel is left here without anybody to dance with as of now. For all the rumors that swirled and all of the conversations of would he be next, maybe he's happy because he doesn't have to be the guy after the guy. That's someone else's job now.
Yeah, it's like I said yesterday when we were joking around about Shane Beamer with High Tide, and basically he would be a sacrificial Shane. And so you know that you're going into what would appear to be every single day when you look in the mirror as the next head coach, you see Nick. You can't help it because everyone else is trying to find Nick in you. And if it doesn't happen, they're not going to wait around too long. They're going to run your big behind out of there. And so unless, like Mark Richt won 3/4 of his games. Won 3/4 of his games, had a .750 win percentage, but didn't beat the ones that Georgia fan desperately wanted him to beat. They get rid of him. They bring in the great one in Kirby Smart. And Kirby says, guess what? We just hit another click, okay? We're going up in gear, and we're going to do something that you hadn't seen in a long, long time. 4 decades, you hadn't seen it. And so Kirby's doing that. And there are machines out there that are ready to go, but there aren't enough of them. Look at how many other places have tried to find the guy and haven't been able to find the guy. Look at the 4 guys before Nick. Okay, we went through them yesterday. Between Gene Stallings and Nick, think of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I will say this, honestly. Bryce Young raves about Bill O'Brien. Mm-hmm. Raves about him.
I would not want Bill O'Brien as my head coach.
I'm just telling you. Listen, I'm just telling you this. He does. So if you're in that building in Alabama and you're Greg Byrne and you know that and you've heard players rave about this guy, that's a guy that if it doesn't work out with the big heavy hitters, with Dabo, with Norvell, with Sarkisian, with Lanning, and you don't want to hire Kiffin, that's a guy you can do that clearly has had success building a program at Penn State.
Yeah, rebuilding it, right? Saving it, basically.
Saving it is right. And a guy who's been in your offices, knows how to do it, knows how to recruit in the South. You've at least got that with you at that point.
As much as I like
that
toying,
foundation.
As much as I like toying with Tuscaloosa, I would not wish Bill O'Brien on Alabama. I might welcome it if it happens, but I wouldn't wish it on him.
What's your problem with him?
I think he's maniacal.
Okay, so is Nick.
Well, but I think there's certain levels of that. Different ways of.
Not only
doing
so
it.
is Nick. Like I'll go down every coach in college football. And
Nick
maniacal.
Yes, but how about maniacal with results, and then other ones that don't. And he single-handedly torched Houston. I was happy.
He won 4 division titles, Joe, in 6 years.
In the end, it came unraveling.
Okay, but he won 4 division titles in the NFL in 6 years.
So you basically say, and you know what? If you do that against this AFC South, yes, you have accomplished something, but at what cost? Okay, because he got run out of town.
What NFL coach doesn't get run out of town eventually?
Well, I know that, but I'm talking about after winning those division titles. It is a little odd.
Carly's talking about running Doug Peterson out of town after 2 years yesterday. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know. He was saying, listen, he had a good idea. He had a good plan. It wasn't met with as much criticism as you might think. There were more people fired up over that idea. But look, you do have to get it right. It's not easy to get it right. One on the text line says, what about James Franklin for Alabama head coach? I thought of him a little yesterday, and I thought, well, he's done tremendously well up at Penn State.
He's
still fighting winning that big game.
Yeah, his team against top 10 teams are like 4-15. I think.
Yeah, he's still fighting winning that big game.
And does he really recruit that neck of the woods all that much?
Well, he did well as Vandy.
Well, he did at Vandy, and he's a great recruiter.
Yeah,
I think he's a great coach. I don't know that he's for that job. I just don't know that he's that guy.
And that's really what you're coming down to. All right, we got we'll keep it going to the 1 o'clock hour. Mokama Beer Company. You can come on by now. Beer's their craft, at least as far as I know, because that's the craft I excel in, and so you can enjoy all the taps that they have here. And like we said, Motor, Cosmico, you can go on and on and on with the pours that they have, and they're always creating different recipes. So you got all the delicious beer. You can do a nice flight and sample stouts, pilsners, fruiteds, whatever you might want, but also the coffee. And you got you a nice little
maple latte.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. Enjoying it a whole heck of a lot on this 60 some odd degree day.
So here's what I want. Honestly, I want it to be a sitting coach. Because if it's
from maple lattes to the head coach of Alabama.
Listen, I'm going to tell you.
Hang on.
Because if it's a sitting coach,
yeah,
then more marbles start to have to move. More dominoes have to fall.
Elaborate.
Let's just say it's James Franklin.
Comes back to
Penn State's got to make a hire. And then they go and get somebody, then somebody else has to make a hire. So
right.
It comes back
akin to Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly
of
2
course,
years ago. That
but
I would agree with.
It comes back to his Saturday Down South writing is that, boom, that will fall.
Is best
that
for
will
me.
fall.
You're
That
right.
will fall. That will fall.
Yeah, if Lane Kiffin gets hired, then Matt's got some more content to write about. Hey, let's recap then. 12 o'clock hour, the biggest news of the day. Mike Norvell has agreed to an 8-year contract extension with Florida State. He will be paid $10 million annually. He is not going anywhere. Additionally, the New England Patriots have hired Gerard Mayo, their head coach in waiting, as their full full-time head coach. And a round of applause once more, JJ, for Jaguars long snapper Ross Matisic, officially the 19th All-Pro in Jaguars history. I've seen several of you already on the text line and on X sending me tweets, screenshots. I know Jamal Agnew just tweeted it. Apparently Josh Allen just posted on his Instagram. A little sad that 41 was not among the All-Pro honorees on either the first or the second team. So let's get into that. Let's also get into a shout-out to Gus, our content producer extraordinaire.
I'm mixed up with either calling him Augustus or Gustavo.
You
I'm
can
not
call
quite
him
sure.
either one. We're still workshopping it. He put out a graphic on our social channels of potential Jaguars defensive coordinators. We got to read some of the comments. That's coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, live from Okama Beer Company on XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. 1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
Okay, hot shot. This was an act of desperation.
The Drill.
I hope I haven't insulted you.
Mornings.
Maybe it's time to grow up a little.
On 1010XL.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Happy New Year, taco lovers. Don here from Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach. Football season is wrapping up, but Taco Lou is still cranking out the tacos. If your New Year's resolution is to get back in the gym, remember you can keep the workout going with a taco in each hand or a taco in one hand and a cold Dos Equis or margarita in the other. It's practically my entire exercise regimen. Well, maybe all of it. Anyway, come in, relax, and be ready for a great year. Happy New Year from all of us at Taco Lou.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Every weekend is a Stone Cold Sports Weekend. Hey, Dan Hicken here. Watch For the Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll help you put together your sports weekend. Weekend with Dan brought to you by Stone Core. We do the outdoors better.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including Active Armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous, don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
At Hidden Hills Golf Club, we truly love the game of golf. We invite you to book your next tee time here and enjoy a golfing experience that you might not find at other public facilities. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
You've got a circle of friends, right? Well, how about a circle of beer? All your favorites like Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Mick Ultra, or Natty Light. It's all there in the cold case at Circle K. Probably one right around the corner right now calling your name. Slide on in to a Circle K.
Rhino Shield.
Stop paying for paint that doesn't protect. Permanently protect your home while saving tens of thousands of dollars compared to repainting. Say goodbye to water damage, mold, and algae, and enjoy decades of defense against chipping, cracking, and peeling. Beautifully durable colors on any surface, all backed by our 25-year warranty. Shield now and pay later with 0% financing. Request your free quote today at rhinoshieldjax.com.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
What is North America's largest freshwater fish? The answer coming up.
How long has it been since you compared homeowners' insurance rates? Log on to southernoak.com to find an agent or get an instant quote online. Find us at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
North America's largest freshwater fish is the sturgeon, which this time of year you'll find swimming around in the Great Lakes.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. Former Gators linebacker Alex Anzalone has had a career season with the Detroit Lions, posting 129 total tackles and a career-best 3 sacks in the 2023 season. Anzalone on the home playoff game Sunday night against the LA Rams.
You know, it's going to be exciting going into that stadium Sunday night, and, you know, we're going to be ready to go.
Former Florida linebacker Alex Anzalone today on NFL Network. And big news this hour out of Tallahassee. Mike Norvell has received a new 8-year contract from Florida State that will pay him more than $10 million per year. It's 66 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Heavy Metal Friday on XL Primetime.
Love big hair, love heavy metal. You guys could bring the rock and roll to us. Just hit JJ, the DJ, up at 641-1010. Give us a rock and roll suggestion as we crank it here on a Friday. Mocama Beer Company. You want to talk about just a great setting, and it really doesn't matter what you're into if you're coming here just to enjoy a nice, delicious cup of coffee. They can brew it for you. It's all fresh right here and prepared inside the Mocama tap room. And then, of course, the delicious craft. They've got all sorts of craft samplings that you can enjoy with their flights, or you could just order up a big old pint of a Cosmico or a Motor, whatever it might be. Just drop on by Mocama Beer Company right here in beautiful Fernandina Beach, South 8th Street. So you Nassau Nooners, we'd love to see you. And don't forget, if you don't make it here, all you got to do is log on mocama.com, and you can check everything out, or head to a Total or an ABC and pick up some Mokama.
Before we dive into the NFL and your Jacksonville Jaguars in this 1 o'clock hour, quickly putting a pin in the Alabama discussion, because I think, Matt, we do need to discuss this. Bill O'Brien was one of the candidates that we threw out in the 12 o'clock hour that we said, maybe there would be some logic to that. But 805 from Kansas, love that, 620 area code, let's go, notes that Jalen Milroe, after his comments before the Rose Bowl, may leave if Bill O'Brien indeed becomes the head coach at Alabama.
Mm-hmm. All right, so he leaves, so you get someone else.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you say that. Did you see how hard it was for them to get somebody else, including Jalen Milroe, this offseason? And that was Alabama, which I hadn't seen too often, where they had to claw and scratch for a good playmaker.
Look, you cannot make a decision on a coach because one player.
Oh, no. It's just one person's opinion, too. But at the same time, you are looking at what you have, and you're looking at what best suits them.
They also have a 5-star quarterback coming in by the name of Julian Sain, who apparently is the real deal, like a top 15 recruit. So believe me, if you think he's your right guy and he's the guy to lead you post-Saban,
right,
you're not worried about what your starting quarterback or any other player thinks.
No, I won't argue there, but my whole question is, would I ever say Bill O'Brien is the right guy? I just don't think I would. And so I have no idea. I just he did do some really solid things up at Penn State. He did a good job, and then it deteriorated around him in Houston. And he went up to New England to rescue Mac Jones this year, another guy that he had hands on and couldn't do squat. And that was a bad situation up there. I totally get it. But if I'm reaching, and we talk about Alabama reaching, hey, he may end up on their list. He might. But I would be a little cautious. One thing that Nick has always been good at is embracing but also keeping that Bama Nation at arm's length. You know what I mean? He's always been good at representing Tuscaloosa and Alabama, being proud and always selling it, but then also kind of keeping them at bay whenever he needs to. He could scold them through the media. Remember what he did when it came to the NIL? Scolded them through the media. And the next thing you know, they're pouring in Bama dollars to support the NIL because they couldn't support guys. And so, and heck, any of these guys that we talk about, you really need a guy that can navigate the NIL and transfer portal world. And it would seem to me those are guys that are in there right now. Like you said, Matt, a head right now that has already dealt with this storm on a daily basis, not 2 years ago, not even last year, on a daily basis.
A guy that's in it now, a guy that's literally in the sewer right now,
right?
Which is what Kiffin is.
Yeah,
that's the job. I mean, honestly, if Matt Rule had lasted one more year with the Panthers, it would have been the perfect job for him. But now he's got his job in Nebraska, so he's not leaving Nebraska. So but you can see different
Although
guys
you
where
did
it
say
would
you would
fit.
love an entrenched coach to be plucked away, Matt, just for the content purposes.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
what he
God.
wanted.
If he left Nebraska, it would be like the world would end in Nebraska. That's number one. And then
you mean to tell me they wouldn't grow corn anymore?
It would be wild, I'll tell you that.
It's so
Wild.
funny because the text line says, this FSU fan can sense the disappointment from the Florida and Miami fans on your show that Mike Norvell is staying at FSU. And so you're right. If Matt Rule
JJ, please respond to that accordingly. Or is that your official response?
Yeah, I think that was it.
I could care less if Mike Norvell is at Florida State. Not scared of that guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't scare you. He really doesn't, but he has done a good job. He really has. So he has stepped up to the plate. He's made FSU.
What did you say? He beat Florida when he had a quarterback who didn't complete a pass for, 30 minutes or something like that?
It was 30 minutes of game time, not 30 minutes of real time. Game time that Anthony Richardson did not complete a pass.
Before we headed to our last break, JJ gave us an interesting tidbit after I rattled off all of the All-Pros this year, according to the Associated Press and the National Football League, which includes long snapper Ross Matisic. And what was that fun fact, JJ LaSalva, back at 1010XL headquarters?
Well, the Jets have a new All-Pro player as well.
Who is that? Is it Sauce Gardner? Is it Quinnen Williams?
I think that he is.
It is a Williams.
I actually have to check if he made it.
Yeah, okay, check, please.
Sauce did make it, by
Quincy
the way.
Williams is the story of the day in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Exactly. And so if Quincy is that's a guy that came through this building, and it was one that I'll never forget. I think it was Daniel Jeremiah, but the NFL Network, I'll never forget, scrambling to find out in the third round, Quincy Williams, a little more about this guy. I'm not fully aware of him.
Safety
yada,
out of Murray State that Dave Caldwell raved about, said we're going to move him to linebacker. He's going to be a special teams demon, and then was only justified because a day later Kyle Shanahan got on the microphone and said, yeah, if the Jags didn't take him, we will.
Yeah, and so
Sauce
he
Gardner,
looked
by
like
the way, was also an All-Pro.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so he looked like this raw specimen that could fly to the football, would blow you up, physical, so on and so forth. Anyway, it didn't work out here. It did not work out. And Quincy
he didn't
Williams,
get much of a chance.
No.
Well, first of all, he got thrown into the fire year one. The
Yeah.
Telvin Smith situation, is unprecedented.
Yeah.
There was nothing you could really do. But the depth wasn't there. Shocking, I know.
Mhm.
And so they had to thrust him into a position in which he had not played
and he was lost.
his entire college career, and he's next to Miles Jack, who's also playing out of position at the time. And so that was year one. Year two, much of the same, but then Joe Schobert was brought in, so he became more of a depth piece. And year three, Herb ran him out before he even got onto the field in a regular season game.
Yeah. I also think it was just he just started to get more comfortable with the idea of the NFL.
Well,
playing
Robert
the NFL
Saleh
because
got a hold of him.
Honestly,
Yeah. So
he was not that good when he was here. Okay.
No, he was the one that trademarked the phrase, I felt like my head was in a beehive.
Yeah. Right.
He was the first one who said that after his rookie year.
And so I agree with the idea that he was thrown into the fire and just was at that point not good enough. But that's the whole idea of coaches. We'll have Coach Campbell in a little bit. You have to develop players. That is your job. And
They
so,
also need to be developed in the right scheme. And getting with Robert Saleh and
Saleh
the
did a
system
good job
up there was
Give
the
him
right
credit.
scheme.
And look, there aren't too many, which is crazy, but there aren't too many finds in the NFL draft class through the years that have gone on to stardom elsewhere, okay? They either weren't stars here or weren't stars elsewhere. And so there's enough of those misses all over the place. But at the very least, this guy did kind of go through a reclamation project. He went up there, played with his brother Quinnen, the big man in the middle, another Bama man, and Quincy Williams has thrived up there. So you have to give him credit because he definitely has made his share of plays. All right, we mentioned this earlier, and let's at least touch on it. Your order, Matt, just right off the top of your brain, top 5 coaches in college football right now that Nick has exited the building. Kirby's number 1.
Kirby's 1.
Yeah. Would anybody argue that?
No,
I don't think anybody would argue Kirby's
probably
number
1
see how
and
you
2
could.
and 3 maybe.
Right.
Yeah,
He's-
probably.
He's way
Are
high
we
up.
counting Harbaugh as still being
we
a
have
college
to
coach?
right
Yes,
now.
as of now,
So,
he is
yeah.
still the head coach of
If
Michigan.
we are counting Harbaugh, Harbaugh's got to be 2.
And then do you put Day?
And then I think Ryan Day. Then the next 3, 4, 5 is going to be any kind of Ryan Day, Kalen DeBoer, Steve Sarkisian.
And by the way,
there's a lot of.
What about
KDB?
Dabo?
By the way,
put Dabo in there. KDB and Sark just barely got into this conversation, man.
Hang on, real quick. I'm going to get back to Dabo. I think Lane Kiffin's got a little argument to be in that top 5 right now too.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Listen,
bro. At Ole Miss,
You will not
at
stop.
Ole Miss.
Okay,
I
well,
do
what
not-
about a guy who won national
He's
titles
won 10
at
games
Clemson?
2 of the last 3 years at Ole Miss.
All right, I do not like going here this early, but I think I am. Matt is in love with another guy.
I'm not. Look, you guys have to realize that
I think he's a good
normally,
coach, but I don't
he's-
like how you make it so we have to hate on him because
You
you
guys
like
are-
him too
he
much.
normally reserves this
You guys
for
are talking
quarterbacks.
about Dabo. What's happened the last 3 years with Dabo?
Well, he
When he
won
didn't have
11
an elite
games this year,
quarterback.
just like you said. You know,
right? He
Kiffin
won
won 11
first,
games.
first off,
And the kid from
he didn't win 11
Spartanburg
games.
sparked a 5
Shout out to
Kyle.
Tyler, baby. Tyler from
Tyler.
Spartanburg.
a 5-game win streak to finish out the year. And so, look, I do think Dabo is hungry coming back, and
He better be.
Yeah, he's got
I
a match.
just think, how can you just go on this season? You know, like
It's
when
not
you're talking
just
about
this
the
season
best
for Dabo.
coaches.
Like Lane
yeah,
has
Dabo
proven a
didn't
lot.
have a great year this year, but I mean,
He didn't have a great year
Jesus.
last year either, or the year before.
What?
Yeah, it's been just a little. 2 years ago, he had the conference championship, and it's just been a little bit of a decline. That's all. He lost 2 coordinators that were highly valued, and he's had a difficult time replacing them.
He's had 2 5-star quarterbacks in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
and neither one of them have really developed under him.
Right, but look, we can go down the line with
DJ
5.
Uiagalelei and Klubnik.
We can go down the line with 5 stars that have started one place and have already left and gone somewhere
No,
else.
I understand that.
All
I
over the
understand
place.
that. All I'm saying is, if you really look at Dabo, I think Dabo's done a great job. Okay, I don't want to.
Wow.
There's no confusion about
Thank
that. Okay?
you for admitting that.
He also had two of the greatest quarterbacks in college football in the last 40, 50 years.
Who got them there?
Yeah, he did.
No, he did. I'm not, JJ. I'm not saying that. I know he did, and I know he developed them too. All I'm saying, it's a lot easier to be an elite coach when you've got an elite guy at the most important position on the field.
Is it easier in college football when you get those guys, or harder? I can't quite figure this out. All right, let's hit that real quick.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So, the first notable name from the University of Alabama to announce they are leaving the university since Nick Saban's departure is here. Isaiah Bond, the hero from the Iron Bowl this year, who caught the 4th and Milroe pass that won the game for the Crimson Tide.
With a great Brad Nessler call.
Is expected to enter the transfer portal, according to On3 Sports.
Bond. Isaiah Bond. It was so great. But, yeah, they have 30 days.
Yep.
30 days once their coach makes the announcement. If they do want to move on, they can seek other spots in the college football world without penalty. And so that's definitely going to be one that people are going to be keeping their eye on. That's for sure.
He won't be the only one. There'll be more.
All right, so you guys, if you want to put the X poll together, JJ, put your order together, the top 5 coaches in college football, and see how many of them will jump in on that. You definitely want that. Another one?
Yeah, let's hit another one, because this one.
Another that?
This one is.
You're welcome, Florida Home AC.
Is interesting.
Yeah, you're right.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So there's a couple faulty reports floating around X with regards to this, but this one's legit from the Athletics, Kalen Caller. It's Friday, January 12th. Caleb Williams has not yet declared for the draft. The deadline is Monday. On Wednesday, she called Carl Williams, Caleb's dad, and asked why the delay. He referred her to the publicist, who declined comment until everything is buttoned up.
And by that, what can you interpret? Until everything is buttoned up. All right, we'll live off of that coming up here in just a second, because that would suggest staying in the college world as opposed to advancing to the NFL world, because there's nothing buttoned up about that. All right, we'll get into it. We were hanging out at Mocama Beer Company, their beautiful tap room, Fernandina Beach. This was an old 1950s car dealership, and they basically put it together where you can walk in and you can just see atmosphere surrounding, and you can see those beautiful taps, and they can pour all their creations for you. They've got the big barrels in the back where they're right now, the brewmaster, making more magic back there. Mocama.com. Make sure you drop on by here, or look for them when you're heading out and enjoying some great craft on tap, like at an Iceman game, or anywhere else if you're picking it up at Total or ABC.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL, where Jaguars fans find common ground.
We got the ball!
1010XL. 10XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by Darley's Plumbing.
Despite leading for nearly 30 of the first 38 minutes, it wasn't enough for Florida basketball. Kentucky making big plays, including a go-ahead three-pointer by Aaron Bradshaw with just over a minute to go. 6th-ranked Wildcats closed out an 87-85 win over the Gators. Florida has now played 19 Quadrant 1 games the last 2 seasons and have a 2-17 mark in those games.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I'm so impressed with Darley's Plumbing and the work they're doing at our new Walk-Off Charities field. The Darley's team has been so easy to work with on this great project. I heard good reviews about them for years, and they have absolutely proved it to me. I learned Darley's is a company I can trust for my plumbing needs, and you can too.
Thanks for those kind words, Frank. At Darley's Plumbing, we don't just do residential house calls. We're your first draft pick for commercial business plumbing too. Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars. Come out to the Stout Snug for daily happy hours and Brackish Bloody Marys on Saturdays and Sundays until 3 p.m.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
He's lived on the line of scrimmage, so he sees things we miss.
I'm Jeff Logman, and I'll tell you what I saw on Check the Tape Tuesday.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky of the First Coast, your on-time electrician.
Tuesdays from 10 to noon on 1010XL.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically, if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari, at Bari Orthopedics.
People are winning every single day. Regular people are winning every day. Whether it's $500 or $50,000, anybody can win. Because when they win, I feel like I'm winning.
It's just a fun atmosphere. The pool, the spa, the gaming, the food, the shopping. I came one night, hit the double downs, had a couple of good runs, and won about $300,000.
Anybody could win at Seminole Hard Rock, Tampa.
Must be 21 to play slots or table games. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
DJ JJ back at 1010XL World Headquarters and is accepting your song suggestions at 641-1010. That is the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We are live at Mocama Beer Company up in Fernandina Beach. Mia O'Brien, Josie, Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy off today. Coach Campo will join us momentarily. Matt just brought it up, and I've had it bookmarked waiting to talk about it as we look ahead to this weekend's NFL playoff slate. We've been talking so much about the weather in Kansas City, which I can tell you from firsthand knowledge of my friends that live in the Midwest, there is an expectation they could have close to 26 inches of snow accumulated over the last week. And then it's going to drop to -3 after that.
And
so,
the wind chill, what did they say, around whatever, third
-21.
quarter, -31 is what I saw this morning.
By the time the game ends. So we've spent a lot of time on that. But now a winter storm watch has been issued for the Bills-Steelers game per the National Weather Service. 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts and at least over a foot of snow.
It's it's funny.
So I might want to look at the under in that
folks.
game.
So
35.5 is what it was.
Vivek Ramaswamy is literally in his car right now doing a live show on YouTube, and it says live from an Iowa blizzard.
Oh, yeah. No, it's bad right now. No, so it's funny you bring that up, Matt, because I was just telling some of our Fernandina Nooners about this. There's a chance that they won't be able to play the basketball game, the men's game tonight at Iowa, but the women's game tomorrow, that's a top 15 clash between Caitlin Clark and then Indiana, because they don't know if people will be able to safely get there. In addition to,
I don't know how they do it.
They don't know how the team from Indiana is going to get there because they don't think the plane could land.
I don't understand the
something.
Chiefs. Just go play the game in St. Louis in the Dome. Well, what are the Chiefs doing? Seriously.
I've had 6 days of hellish weather. I'm done with winter, okay?
I saw it's going to be 27 here on Wednesday as the low, and I was like, yeah, no, I ain't leaving the house till I have to.
It's 50 degrees, and I'm done with the winter, okay? Done, okay? Mokama, you know what it means? It's where. Hang on, let me make sure I get
and
this.
somehow, some way, while you
their
look
slogan
that up,
right,
Joe.
Because it is near the big water where the sun is born. I need that warmth, okay? I cannot tolerate winter.
Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to believe it. What do you boys think the total is right now? We'll do Chiefs Dolphins first, and then we'll do Bills Steelers. What do you think the total is right now on my bookie?
Well, I could just tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if Steelers Bills is off the board. So
It's not yet.
Okay, 31.
34.
Okay, all right.
I was expecting it to be even lower.
Yeah, because when we were originally talking, it was 36, 35.5. So if it's gone down to 34, that makes sense. And I thought it might even tumble more than that.
It may, given the inclement weather up there. What do you think Chiefs Dolphins over under right now?
See, I'm trying to remember what I saw.
You're not going to believe it.
Hang on. Don't let us guess.
Because it's a high number. It's in the mid-40s.
No way.
It's in the mid-40s.
Is it really?
Yeah, like 40 TLD's legs, 44 inches.
I would have said like 38.5 maybe.
No, they're expecting
mid-40s?
43.
It is 43.
It's
wow,
43.
I wasn't far off.
I'd still bang that under.
Yeah, well, I would in that one more than I would maybe in the other one because you can, Buffalo lives in that world. Pittsburgh lives in that world. Tua, no isotoners? What are you thinking, man?
That easily could be like 27-3.
You're from Hawaii, and you're going to roll in without any Danny Marino protection? And they're talking about both of those teams will try and run the football, obviously. I'm surprised 43. Okay, because I knew it was in the mid. I thought it was even as high as 45.
Oh, it was originally. Yeah. It's a 4.5-point line, by the way, in terms of the actual spread, with the Chiefs favored. The Bills are favored by 9.5 over the Steelers. But it is going to be fascinating. Not one, but 2 snow games in the NFL playoffs this weekend. Super wild card weekend. Before we get back to your Jacksonville Jaguars, who will unfortunately not be taking part in that, let's hit on what we teased heading into this second segment of the 1 o'clock hour. Caleb Williams has not officially announced that he will head to the NFL draft because they are, quote, still buttoning things up. What do you make of that, Matt Hayes?
I think he's a drama king, is what I think he is.
And when you mention...
He loves the drama. He loves it to be all about Caleb Williams, and he's trying to put himself in the best situation. He's not going back to USC.
Right.
That's a bad team right now. He's not going back and playing at USC. Now, would he go and transfer to wherever? Maybe. Maybe if he gets, a $5 million NIL deal added on to the deal he already has with American Airlines and Dr. Pepper and all the other ones he's got, it's possible, I guess. He's not going back to USC.
But it's
no
funny,
way.
as soon as Mia mentioned the dad, I immediately thought helicopter dad, and then I immediately thought, okay, they're going to try and maneuver and manipulate, and this is a common practice. Because I'm trying to remember, did Joey Burrow's dad step in at one point?
No.
I'm trying to remember. One of these guys did it. I'm trying to remember who did it.
But
anyway, they all float the idea that I may stay because I don't want to go to that team. Remember?
Yeah.
This is a very popular refrain, and you have basically the days are counting down.
Deadline is Monday.
Yeah, Monday is the 15th, and so they're going to play the game until the last possible minute. Heck, it took Marvin Harrison Jr. until yesterday to say that he was going pro, which is just nuts.
So
because of this chatter about some $25 million that was going to come his way.
Here's a little bit more from the Athletics report. They wonder if this is part of the father of Caleb Williams' big strategy to disrupt the status quo, which, of course, he brought up in the GQ article back in September, in which he said, quote, he's got 2 shots at the apple. If there's not a good situation, the truth is he can come back to school. Caleb Williams hasn't hired an NFLPA certified agent. Multiple scouts said they don't expect him to. He is building out an unconventional management team.
Right. He's going to be like Lamar. He's not going to need an agent. He's going to try and do it himself.
Well, okay.
Look, Lamar set the bar. Whether agents out there, and I have a lot of friends who are agents, whether they like it or not, Lamar set the bar.
Right.
Lamar negotiated for himself, sat out. Everybody was saying he was an idiot. What are you doing? You didn't play well. You were injured the previous 2 years. He got the best deal of any quarterback.
Yeah,
and now he comes up with an MVP season.
Yeah,
he set the bar right now.
If you're talking about 6% or whatever it might be of.
That's a lot of cash, man.
Yeah, of now, once you get to that second contract.
Of the total deal is what it is.
Yeah, once you get to that second contract, it's $250 million or more. Think of that cheddar. Okay, so yeah, that's.
Let's just say it's what was Deshaun's $220 million, right?
Yeah, and again, he was
6%
originally
of $220 million is about what?
Well, he was originally promised 130 guaranteed, which is this number right here.
18,
if you took
19 million?
Yeah, if it was originally 130 guaranteed, which already would have been, what is that? 7.8 million. That would have been the commission, and then you can double that basically. So, yeah.
So we don't think any of this has to deal with they need confirmation from the Chicago Bears that they are selecting
Everything has to do with it. In other words, they're posturing left and right because this staff, Matt Eberflus, made the decision to let go of basically the offensive staff. So people are trying to read the tea leaves there. What does that mean? Does that mean they're keeping Justin Fields, or they're going to go get a staff that they think is better for the next guy that they think is better? And that has to be part of the discussion. Oh, yes. Yes. Because if he's not the guy, then he wants guarantees and assurances. You're not going to get that.
Well, he probably wants them from the Bears, clearly, because we don't know what the Bears are doing with that pick, right? We don't know if they're going to keep Justin Fields, but he wants assurances from them because he has no idea who they could trade that pick to.
Right.
So that's the issue.
Yeah, exactly. And you start looking around, which is what happened last year. Carolina reached. They went and got Bryce Young. We all know that didn't work out. So, you got all sorts of possibilities and tentacles to this. But like I told Nia a second ago, everything has to do with it because they're trying to figure out exactly what everyone else's move is, and then based on that, what their move is.
I'm not sure he's the number 1 overall pick. I mean, he hasn't gone through any of the interviews, any of the combine, the pro day, none of that.
Yeah.
Because those things change rapidly. I would not be shocked at all if Jaden Daniels ends up being the number 1 pick. At all.
And so Jordan Reed's a guy who keeps an eye on this, and like we said, we're keeping an eye on all of them. But 15th the deadline for underclassmen to declare. Those that have yet to say which way they're going, Caleb Williams heads that list. But if you're just looking at other big names, J.J. McCarthy, there's a chance that he comes back. There's also a chance that Jim Harbaugh comes back, which we don't think is likely at all. Travion Henderson, the running back from Ohio State. Why would he come back? I have no idea. You got Rome Odunze, the wide receiver at Washington, has not said what he's going to do yet.
He did today.
He did say it earlier today? Okay,
today.
so now we're at least okay because we're a couple days away. So he finally has made his decision. And why wouldn't he make the decision to go pro? So there's still a few of them that are trying to make that ultimate call on where they're going to go. And the guy at the top wants to hold all the cards if he can.
Let's ask a guy who has picked number 1 overall, even if it was not as the head coach, but as an assistant coach, as a coordinator. Coach Campo.
Well, believe me.
Would you mind popping on that headset real quick, a little early debut of Campo on the Friday program?
I'm going to tell you what Coach is about to say. He damn sure would like to have had some more say on that quarterback position. Right, Coach?
Absolutely.
But, Coach, when you hear this, that, because obviously when you were with the Dallas Cowboys, you guys, the number 1 pick was a big question mark. Right now, the number 1 overall pick is a big question mark for the Chicago Bears. Do they trade it? Do they keep Justin Fields? And now the guy who's presumed to be the best quarterback on the board is trying to play cat and mouse, it appears, with them.
Well, I heard a little bit about, on the way in on the radio with you guys, and I think it could be very true that Caleb Williams is a drama queen. And
I said king, Coach.
Huh?
I said king. I didn't say queen.
Well,
drama king. Drama king.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing?
Drama king. I apologize.
There's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, right. Coach.
I
don't think that's
but to be
the
honest,
parlance of our times.
But to be honest with you, I think that there is a question as to whether or not he is the first pick. So, I look at it like he's weighing his options. if he is the first pick, literally, Chicago could be talking to him right now. You can negotiate with the first pick.
Yeah, number 1 overall.
So when you start talking about, well, I haven't buttoned things up yet. I think it depends on what his agent's hearing from the Chicago Bears, and where the agent thinks he's going to go.
We got picks to make.
Yes.
We got Coach Campo in the house at Mocama Beer Company. JJ's going to fire it up. We'll run through the NFL slate because no more college football, sadly. Who do we have winning on this super wild card weekend? We will make those picks and circle back to your Jacksonville Jaguars as well, coming up next on a Friday edition of XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. 1010XL is your home for Jacksonville University basketball.
It's the first River City Rumble of 2024. JU at UNF. Tonight at 7 on 1010 AM.
Elevate your driving experience with Osteen Volvo Cars of Jacksonville. The Osteen Volvo team is a key piece of our community, and when it comes to cars, excellence is non-negotiable. Visit Osteen Volvo on Phillips Highway, online at osteenvolvo.com.
Make a crucial catch against colon cancer. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, the ball is in the red zone to get screened. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. 45 is the new 50. Get screened for colon cancer now. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
Patriot Roofing Services, specializing in all types of commercial and residential roofing and repairs, gutters, sun tubes, skylights as well. 10-year workmanship warranty, financing available, military and senior citizen discounts, no subcontractors. Mention this ad at the time of the estimate and receive $500 off any new re-roof. Call Mark today, 982-4052, 982-4052, licensed and insured.
Gear up, sports fans. The NFL playoffs are here, and it's time to get in on the action with MyBookie. Don't just watch, score big with exclusive boosted odds and huge prize contests that'll have you feeling the Super Bowl fever before it even hits. Whether you're a seasoned pro or ready to roll for the first time, MyBookie is your ticket to turning your sports knowledge into cold, hard cash. MyBookie has the largest online lineup of odds, contests, and Vegas-style casino games, making it your ultimate destination for all types of fun. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, the wait is over. Make your winning move today and sign up at MyBookie using promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit up to $1,000. That's right, 1010XL promo code for an opportunity to boost your betting power. No matter what, it's playoff time. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home, because with MyBookie, you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Join MyBookie today and be part of the winning team. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Denny Thompson here. Tackle burglars and protect your turf. Give yourself peace of mind catching everything around your home with Tyson Sound & Security's cutting-edge surveillance cameras. For safety and convenience, Tyson has you covered for all home cameras and security systems. I'm talking HD recording, night vision, and remote alerts, all from your phone or computer. Call Tyson Sound & Security right now at 904-762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security. Security and automation experts.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 12, 2013, the Mile High Miracle took place as Joe Flacco heaves a 70-yard touchdown pass to Jacoby Jones to beat the Broncos in overtime.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
Skincare is self-care, and with daily beauty steals of 50% off during Ulta Beauty's Love Your Skin event, I can find everything I need to make loving my skin a daily practice, from brands like Osea, Lancome, and Tula. And I can shop weekly skin and wellness deals of 30% off more must-have brands. Plus, see what's new from brands like Bubble and in select stores, Sol de Janeiro and Ulla Henriksen. Hurry, event ends January 20th. Shop in store, online, or try pickup today. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply.
Trivia enthusiasts, Tuesday night is your night. Gather your team and join us at Players Grill in Mandarin or Miramar for the ultimate trivia showdown. It's a whole lot of fun every Tuesday starting at 7 p.m. Are you ready to prove you're the trivia champions? Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
The Jacksonville Icemen are back at home this Friday and Saturday for Lizard Kings weekend. That's right, the Icemen will throw it back to the 90s to pay tribute to the Lizard Kings by wearing special themed jerseys. Come out and relive your days from the Reptilian Pavilion, Friday and Saturday at 7 at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. Get tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksIcemen.com, or call 904-602-PUCK. Icemen hockey is #FireWithin.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Hey folks, Hicken here. Now that your kids and grandkids have gone home and the decorations are coming down, I bet you can see it's time to get those carpets and sofas clean. I'm telling you, give Zero Res a try if you haven't already. They clean the carpets, the sofa, the chairs, the area rug, and even the tile and grout. Google them. More than 5,000 5-star customer reviews. And right now, 20% off carpet cleanings, 20% off upholstery. Zero Res. You spell it forward, you spell it backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars fired defensive coordinator Mike Caldwell on Monday, along with several other members of the coaching staff. But are the moves over? Dan Hicken, this morning on The Drill, wonders what move the Jaguars will make next.
We haven't heard from the GM. Another day goes by, so, the coach did his press conference before he started making moves, so it wasn't just like all of a sudden an epiphany and I'm going to fire the defensive coordinator. So, obviously he was thinking about it, knew he was going to do it. So there's a lot out there percolating, but a lot of it's because of their silence, which makes us sit here and wonder.
Dan Hicken this morning on The Drill. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
On a Friday, you might, if you go to YouTube, you might see JJ flashing the tats on a big hair heavy metal Friday, because he definitely gets it going. That's for sure. You can go to the YouTube, search 1010XL, and see the live cast. We are here inside the beautiful walls of Mokama Beer Company. And Coach, as you said it just a second ago, this is an old 1950s car dealership. Talk about ambiance, atmosphere, just casual setting. Yep. Pretty nice, huh?
I think this is my first time here. I don't get up to Fernandina that much, but I'll tell you, they're doing it right. What they did with this in the historic district, to have not only the beer but coffee. You're bringing in more people, and it's really nice. And they got a cheesesteak
food
truck right outside the door.
I got some coming.
Philly boys.
I got some Krabby Fries coming just for you, Coach, to the table. So we'll be ready to rumble.
Thank you very much.
A question for you from some of the Fernandina Nooners. You're a longtime NFL coordinator and coach. You coached in college. You don't drink coffee, and you also don't drink beer. What was it that kept you up until 11 or 12 o'clock at night?
Campo. That's all it was.
Just being
Campo.
Campo? He's just a machine.
Petrol Campo.
Just my energy.
Well, especially in light of the conversation that Reese Davis had with Nick Saban.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that. Yep. I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you. I've had a couple of opportunities in some of these spring leagues. Mm-hmm. And at 76, now he's 72, so, I was finished at 72. That's basically when I finished. Yeah. And the reason I haven't done it is because when I look at something, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it with everything I've got.
Right.
Which is how Nick is describing it,
and
right?
And really, to be honest with you, when you get to this age, there's some other things that you might want to do. And it really does, I'm not going to do it. And I can see where a guy that's so driven, probably more driven than I am, Nick Saban. I've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
I can see where he would make that decision.
And he admitted, he was like, I can't stay at the facility till midnight anymore.
Yeah.
And wake or stay until 2, work until 2 a.m., wake up at 6 and do it all over
and
again.
I did that for a lot of years. I'll be honest.
Without coffee.
Yeah, and I have to give credit to my wife for being able to handle that. So some of it is, at this particular time in life, you don't have that much left.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how much. It'll be tomorrow.
Right. That's the point I made yesterday. Is you're either going to spend the next 20 years with football or with the woman you love.
Yeah. And
they've been married 50 years.
And I'll be honest with you, what I'm doing now with you guys is really keeps me close.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of people go in, the coaches go into the media, because it keeps them close, but it's better for your heart and stomach.
Keeps the foot into it. Keeps the foot into the football.
Yeah.
And we gave you advice with gambling.
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. And being part of this group, I feel like I'm with a team.
And
so
you're the
that's,
coach.
that's
Right,
what
and
it,
and you know what? Listening to that Nick Saban interview, which again, after our program, go watch it on YouTube after the Frangie show too, and after Rick and all that. But like in your spare time this weekend, go listen to it, because everything that Coach has said to us about what 10-10 means to you, being part of a team, having your toe dipped still in the football water, still talking to people in town, like that is what Nick Saban literally echoed.
Yeah.
And it's a truth that being part of a team since you're 9 years old, you can't just now all of a sudden be on your own.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. The thing I miss about it is the camaraderie and the players. And, I love it when when you guys have a guest, that come in from the Jaguars or whatever.
Right.
That's really what I miss.
But you have to do an inventory in your mind and your brain about your commitment level, and it's long range. It ain't just tomorrow.
Right.
And like you said, you want to give it everything you got. Well, you can't give everything you got to everything anymore. It's Toby Keith right now. It's,
Exactly.
I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good as I ever was.
Exactly. And I had an opportunity to go to Switzerland this year as a head coach of a brand new franchise.
Right.
In a league over there that's been going for 3 years. And what the guy said to me was, it's like a paid vacation. Well, I can pay my own vacation. That's not really what I want to do.
You're going to
if
coach.
I go to Switzerland, I want to go there to see everything, not to coach.
All right, now listen, you now are going to be charged with making some picks here at Mokama Beer Company, which, by the way, Mokama, near the big water where the sun is born. I love that slogan. JJ, run our picks, my man.
Now, the Otterson Wealth Advisors Risk-Reward Picks of the Week. Otterson Wealth Advisors, your goals, our expertise.
All right, I would say if you went 28 games above 500 against the spread, that would be a pretty good season. Congratulations to me after going 5-1 last week is now 69-41.
Whoa,
against the spread.
Unbelievable. Not unbelievable. I know Mia.
I would like to put some money on that and see where we go.
Joe is in second with it's really about second place, folks. Joe is second with 60-50 against the spread. I'm 1 game back of him. Campo 2 back of him. Leon 3 back. So
do I get a trophy? Do I get dinner?
He doesn't even talk about me.
He doesn't even hey.
Go out and order whatever you want. It's on me.
We never
Ernest already
actually
said he's taking care of it.
no winners from past seasons have actually won anything.
Former champion, that's all I got.
Yeah, but maybe we'll work on a trophy or something this year. All right. All NFL.
I'm Dabo Sweeney right now is what I am, right?
If we want to get Matt's record, he is 48-62 against the spread. Only guy under 500. All right, all NFL games. We'll go in order. Saturday to Monday. So Browns at Texans. By the way, I have all of Leon's picks, so I'll give those.
Okay.
Browns at Texans. The Browns on the road are favored to win by 2. Leon has the Browns.
See, here's the funny part. If the Jags were hosting the Browns, I was picking Joe Flacco to become a pumpkin. Naturally, I am now picking for him to stay intact for at least one more week, defeat the Houston Texans, but I don't think it's because of Joe Flacco. I think that Cleveland defense is going to get it done. It's going to leave a lot of people here in Duval questioning, why didn't you just hire Jim Schwartz in the first place, Doug? Mostly also because I would love to see Joe Flacco go back to Baltimore against his former team in the divisional round.
Yeah, you can root for results. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think Jimmy Schwartz, if I remember right, he was the guy who got to sit in the back of the room and watch some interviews go down inside the bank, which is still a mystery to me that actually happened. I'm gonna take the points. I'm just gonna see if I can cut in just a little bit. I'm gonna take the points.
I'm looking at the fact that I do not like the Houston Texans, number one, and I actually coached in Cleveland. So I'm going with the Cleveland Browns.
And so did Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. So
yes,
you know what?
I'm one of those guys.
In honor of them.
And you know the thing, Coach, with the way they are coaching on the defensive side, they play a lot of man, and C.J. Stroud's struggled a little bit against that.
That's his Achilles heel, in my opinion.
Wait a second. So Browns. Everybody's taking Browns.
So took the Texans. So am I.
Straight up. Straight up.
JJ, you're taking the Texans. Matt taking them.
Yeah.
Sirs.
Sirs took the Browns. All right.
Okay.
Saturday night, only on Peacock. In frigid weather in Kansas City, the Chiefs are 4.5-point favorites at home against Miami. By the way, I saw a video. Waddle's definitely playing. He looked pretty good in practice.
Even though he has the high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would imagine he'll be out there. So the Chiefs are favored by 4.5. Leon has the Chiefs.
See, here's the crazy part. In that sort of weather, which, by the way, Mike McDaniel's from Denver, so it's not like he's a stranger to cold weather, you're going to have to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dolphins probably have the better run offense than the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm going to go with the home team. Just because I think it'll be a 4-point game. I think it'll be closer than many think. But I think if this Kansas City defense, which has been underrated all year, if they can force Tua to throw the ball, he will make some poor decisions down the stretch, and that will result in a Chiefs victory.
If it is a 4-point game, Miami will cover. Just to.
Oh, right, you're right.
Yeah. All right, so you're taking Miami.
Are you
I'm
taking
taking Miami.
Okay.
I'm taking Miami.
All right. Wow. So I believe that Andy Reid hip bumped Travis Kelce and said, "Get your house in order." All right. And so basically, sleep on it. Women weaken legs rock, and he basically said,
"She better not be at this game on
your
Sunday."
house."
No, she's going to be there, although maybe her plane can't land.
And with that, I am taking. There's the Philly boys right there coming in with some cheesesteaks right there, and so I'm going to lay the points because no isotoners for Tua.
So you're going with the Chiefs?
Yeah.
I'm kind
of. This is a tough one because I love Andy Reid, and I have to commend JJ since he is part of this picking system. To be honest enough to say that Waddle is playing.
Yep. He's giving you some injury disclosure.
Yeah. I'm going with Andy Reid. I'm going with the Chiefs.
I'm just sidetracked right now because apparently the Clemson players are ready for a team meeting. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Right, you give me that look too. I'm the same way. I'm going with the Chiefs. Chiefs
are they
at home.
Getting ready for a team meeting?
Just real quick, I'm going to interrupt real quick. Larry Williams, who works for Tigers Illustrated, he's covered Clemson for
forever.
2 decades.
We've had him on.
He just said, in my third update of the day, we have additional nuggets and insight to share in the last 24 hours. R.E. Dabo Swinney in Alabama, while players ready for a team meeting and Clemson's assistant coaches remain on the road recruiting.
Wow. John LaSelva Sr. and Linda LaSelva are about to have a really sad weekend.
Yep. They're about to go tally.
Who do you got, Matt? Oh, you took the Chiefs. Okay,
I took the
I'm
Chiefs.
taking
Yeah,
the Chiefs as well, but I really don't feel confident about it. I could definitely see Miami winning. All right, Steelers at Bills.
I saw them last week winning, and they didn't. So that's probably why I'm picking against the
Steelers at Bills. The Bills at home, 10-point favorites. Leon took Buffalo.
It's a big number, but this is the game in which the backup quarterback turns into a pumpkin. They're going to try to ride Mason, the Rudolph, red-nosed quarterback in that frigid Buffalo temperature, but Buffalo's going to run the ball. The Steelers are going to try to run the ball, and listen, Jaylen Warren's a good little running back, Najee Harris too, but I just think Buffalo's going to lock in and lock this one down.
Well, I'm thinking of Santa when he says, "Rudolph, we'll lead my sleigh."
Does Santa
tonight.
sound like Trent Baalke?
Well, he kind of does. I think a lot of them actually do kind of sound like
I'll
Trent.
leave that to Coach.
Rudolph. So he's going to need a blinking red nose to get through that snow, that lake effect that they're going to have up there. I do feel like they're going to tamp him down, but there's only so many points here. Only so many points. So I'm going to – is it 10, JJ?
10.
Yeah, I'll take him.
You're taking the Steelers.
Watch the Steelers They're like average.
I'm going with the Steelers as well. Defense
Are
reigns.
you real? I think the Bills blow them out.
They should.
I'm with Mia and Matt on this. I think the Bills win pretty big. All right, Packers at Cowboys. Another pretty big line. The Cowboys at home, 7-point favorites against Green Bay. Leon is taking Dallas.
So, see, I'm rooting for the chaos of what happens if the Cowboys lose. Sorry, Coach Campo.
Yeah.
But it's still a young Packers team.
I feel like
Dallas
heads will roll if that happens.
I know, and I'm rooting for the content. I'm going to pick the Packers to cover. How does that sound? I have a big enough lead in the standings that we're going to gamble. We're going to roll the dice.
You have nothing to worry about.
Right, I'm going to roll the dice.
Are you kidding me?
I would love to see them make the Cowboys sweat because then, let's say they get blown out in the divisional round, then heads are still going to roll.
Yeah, you do have the luxury, and I want to go in the same direction because that half is definitely interesting.
It's just
I think
7.
It is just 7 now. I'll lay the points.
Yeah, I really think that out of all the years, this is the year that the Cowboys could go all the way. And after watching Dak Prescott down the stretch here, I'm going with Dak Prescott. I'm going with the boys.
I hate jumping on the wagon because every time you do, the Cowboys disappoint you. But this is a route, too. They're going to route them.
Packers, by the way, youngest team in the National Football League.
Yeah, and their defense is just iffy.
Up and down.
I think the Cowboys win too, but it would be just like them to not.
Oh, you're
right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you there.
Last two, we got to do them fast. Rams at Lions, which to me is the most interesting game of the weekend. The Lions are 3-point favorites. Leon is taking the Rams.
51.5 over/under, by the way.
Yeah.
It's going to be a high-scoring affair. This one's been tough. Can I say push? Am I allowed to say that? Because I do think Detroit's going to win by 3. Give me the Rams. I think the Rams find a way to cover in this one too. I'm taking all the underdogs this week. Well, maybe we'll see. Still got one more game to go.
You
but
took Cleveland.
Yeah, I did take Cleveland.
So you got one favorite.
Yeah, I got one. I think the most fascinating.
Or you took
matchup,
the Bills too.
I did take the Bills. The most fascinating matchup for me is a Lions run defense that is so good against Kyren Williams, the second leading rusher, versus back in Detroit, Matthew Stafford against one of the worst pass defenses in the National Football League in the Detroit
The other thing that I'm looking at is Sean McVay knows where Jared Goff's weaknesses are.
Yep.
And he knows where he can either dupe him into something or whatever, but they have given up their share of big plays. Both teams have. That's why that number is up where it's at. But I'm just going to keep going against the grain as far as my Lions are concerned because they've let me down way too many times when I bet on them. So I will take those 3 points.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
Puka. I'm going with Puka Nacua.
Such a good player.
Yeah,
Matt?
I mean, I said this yesterday. I'm going to say it again. I mean, we're forgetting about Jared Goff, who, by the way, was insulted by the Rams, and they didn't think he could get him any further than where he got him to the Super Bowl.
It's his revenge game.
The Lions are a good team. The Lions are at home. I think the Lions win easy, double digits.
I'm 5 for 5 with matching picks with Matt. It's got me worried. All right,
you're going to go to last place.
You might be 1 and 4, bro.
With the Lions as well. All right, last one, Monday night. Eagles on the road against the Bucks. The Eagles are still 3-point favorites. Leon has taken the Birds.
So, JJ, you gave us our update on Jalen Waddle. Here's the update from Philadelphia. No sign of A.J. Brown, who has a knee injury at Eagles practice. Reed Blankenship, the safety, was running off to the side. Doesn't look like he will practice either. Should also be noted that A.J. Brown reportedly led a players-only meeting this week in hopes to end the team's late-season slump. He then promptly deleted all of his Eagles-related content from his Instagram. Give me the Buccaneers.
Yeah, he's in a full pout right now, and he's not the first wide receiver to do it, but he is the latest wide receiver to do it.
Here's the thing, too, Joe. Like, last week, everyone nationally was like, oh, the Jags are all they're in each other's heads. It's all. What's this team?
Yeah, they're.
Everybody picked against the Jags last week, and everybody's probably going to pick against the Eagles this week, too.
But we talked about finger pointing in this building at the bank, and there definitely is finger pointing over there, and they're pointing at their head coach much more there than they are maybe here. I still am taking the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean.
Hold it. Yeah. Hold the phone. In the deepest love and respect for Matt, I just won the toss, and I'm deferring.
Now you can go.
I'm taking whoever Matt took. I'm taking.
So I just look at like the Bucs had to win the division last week, right? The worst team in the league
scored 9.
9-0.
They were on the road.
I mean, they're an average team. Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. Yes.
Okay, I got the Eagles.
Eagles, JJ.
Eagles.
All right.
JJ, that's 6 in a row.
Yeah, it is.
Otterson Wealth Advisors risk-reward picks. There you go, into the 2 o'clock hour. Mocama Beer Company. That is where we are at, hanging out on I would say beautiful. It's always beautiful in Nassau County, despite rain, but drop on by, because this is what I might describe as barstool weather.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
This is the playmaker and 3-time Super Bowl champion, Michael Irvin, and you are listening to 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Superstation.
A new vehicle. Come to Key Buick GMC where we never have markups on our vehicles. In addition, Key Buick GMC is the only Buick GMC dealer with a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new Buicks and GMCs. It's a new year. Time to do some service checkups. Key has oil changes specials on most vehicles plus a tire match guarantee. Please check out our service specials at our website. Go to KeyBuickGMC.com. We're always professional grade on the corner of Southside and Gate. KeyBuickGMC.com.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Football season means time on the couch and plenty of big games on the TV. Well, Florida Home AC knows you might be hitting the thermostat every time your team goes for the win. With family and friends hanging out for 4 quarters or more, the heating and AC unit will be working overtime. Stay cool with Florida Home AC. A simple phone call to 777-4300 and make sure your unit is primed for the fall when temps change constantly. Order a tune-up and enjoy the season. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
Wintertime at the Blue Crab Crab House. You know what that means. Time for oysters. Buy them by the tray, broiled, half shell with Romano cheese, wine topping, or fried. And of course, each and every Wednesday, $1 oysters at the Blue Crab Crab House. Serving Northeast Florida since 1996. Make reservations by calling 260-CRAB. Jacksonville's best, the Blue Crab Crab House, off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From Roll and Lock bed covers to Lear toppers to Cam Locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Brace yourself. Winter is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville. Our annual Winter Open Poker Tournament kicks off January 18th. Take your shot at the championship main event, January 26th through 29th, featuring an ice-cold $300,000 guarantee prize pool. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details, and we'll see you at the Winter Open starting January 18th. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
You love free, and at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
With Christmas behind us in 2024 here, the last thing you want to hear is somebody trying to sell you something. That's why at Underwoods, we'd like to stop and just say thank you to all the people that came in our stores over the last year. Whether you bought from us or not, we want to thank you for stopping by and giving us the chance to help. You know, in Florida, there are a lot of people trying to sell you jewelry. But at Underwoods, we consider it an honor to have somebody come in and just give us that chance to help. And if we do a good job, we might get a chance to serve again. Having served North Florida since 1928, all of us here understand what a customer really gives us during that visit to Underwoods. Their trust. And it's up to us to do everything we can to keep it. So on behalf of everybody on the Underwood team, thanks again for coming into our stores. And we wish each of you a Happy New Year.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The retirement this week of the legendary Nick Saban has rocked the world of college football. Saban explained the main reason for his retirement in a one-on-one interview with Reese Davis from ESPN.
My age started to become a little bit of an issue. People wanted assurances that I would be here for 3 years, 5 years, whatever, and that got harder and harder for me to be honest about. And to be honest, this last season was grueling.
Nick Saban with ESPN. Big news out of Tallahassee. Mike Norvell has received a new 8-year contract from Florida State. It's 67 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. XL Primetime's coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com.
We get our motor running with our man, Dave Campo, in the 2 o'clock hour. He got in early so we could work in some picks. Our picks are in. The 2 o'clock hour is here. Joe C., me O'Brien, Matty Hayes, Coach Campo. Missing Big Surge today, but he did send his picks in back at JJville. He's holding it down with some big hair, heavy metal. Any rock and roll suggestions, any kind of rock, we'll take them. 641-1010. You can hit the text line as we are at Mocama Beer Company, hanging out. Beautiful Fernandina Beach, and as you come into the historic district, you'll see them right here on the left as you're heading on South 8th Street, and it's not that far from downtown, so you can go there, enjoy, you can come here and enjoy, but definitely make it one of your stops if you're coming up to the Dina, and we love our Nassau Nooners, that's for sure. So here and their Wildlight location, make them both of your stops when it comes to craft, and check out mocama.com if you are heading out, and you can pick up some craft anywhere else on the First Coast. Now, let's do a real quick seg here, Coach, on Bill Belichick stepping away. You know, we sat with you on Tuesday, poured over the loss, but since then, Nick steps down, Pete Carroll steps down, Belly steps down, and within basically less than a 24-hour period, Gerard Mayo has been appointed. He was handpicked, it sounds like, by Kraft and maybe signed off by Belichick to take over that job.
Well, I tell you, there's definitely a trend in the National Football League right now for young coaches, young offensive coaches especially. But Jared, is a defensive guy, which is kind of unusual at this point in my mind. Mm-hmm. But when
first minority hire up in New England too.
Well, since they got him, he's been projected I heard his name the second year when he got the captain's job as a player there, that he was a rising, that they thought he was a great fit for what's in the future.
Right.
So,
Who'd have thunk that possible from a volunteer, a Tennessee boy?
Yeah.
So which of the three surprised
Pretty
you?
good player at Tennessee, by the way.
Yeah, he was. And they already tweeted out, by the way, congratulations to Gerard Mayo. Which of the three, though, for you, Coach, having coached against and alongside all three of them, Belichick, Saban, Pete Carroll, which one shocked you the most?
Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a feeling you may say that. Why?
Yeah. Well, I know Pete really well. And, I was up there a couple of years ago when he was just turning 70. I went up to a game, and his energy, I don't see it waning at all. And I think the other two, you could question whether or not they're the same as they were 10 years ago. I think he's the same today as he was 10 years ago, and he made that very clear. Everybody's saying that Belichick is going to go somewhere. Belichick hasn't made it clear that he's going anywhere.
Right.
Saban has made it pretty clear that he's done. Pete said, I tried everything I could to keep the job. So I think he feels like he's still got something going, and that's why I thought it was
and he
it
stayed,
was a shock.
Yeah, he stayed in-house at least for now.
Yeah.
But
I don't think he's staying for long, though, do you?
No, I think he'll get another job. I really do.
It does blow my mind, though, because 72-year-old, we talk about, who's walking off in the sunset, both the same age.
And Belichick's 70. So Belichick's 71.
Excuse me, and Nick and
Nick
Pete.
is 72, and Pete's 72.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, they're different personalities.
Right.
Sometimes a guy that's so tunnel visioned as both Belichick and Saban are, sometimes it wears on them faster than a Pete Carroll, who I'm sure works as hard as everybody, but he's outgoing. It doesn't look like it.
Free-spirited.
It's the same. It's the same stress level with him as it is some other guys. And maybe that's the case.
Yeah. The other thing with Pete Carroll, like you said, boundless enthusiasm, personality. He gets players to play hard for him. Now, New England, year after Tom Brady left, they made it to the postseason. They've been dreadful since then.
Right.
Meanwhile, Russell Wilson leaves Seattle, and they basically rejuvenate Geno Smith and his career. They make it to the postseason. Then this year they blew it down the stretch, not making it to the postseason. I guess other teams surged and they blew it. They did. They won that last game against Arizona, but they let that game get away against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which definitely was not a good game to lose. That's for sure.
Right.
So when you replace those guys, and we were talking about it earlier, Coach, just the idea of when Nick Saban walks out, who's the next, great set of coaches? And we stopped after we mentioned Kirby, Ryan Day. You certainly could include Dabo in this conversation because he has 2 titles. You definitely could name a couple of other ones, but it's going to be hard to fill that void as far as a consistent winner in the college game.
Well, first of all, when you start talking about the top guys, which you're mentioning now, if they want them at where they're at, they're going to sweeten the pot, just like they did with Norvell. So, that comes into play. But also, when you're in a spot where you think you can win and the money is okay with you, why would you want to follow Nick Saban? Even though Alabama should be easily getting the best, but those other people are getting the best as well. There are a lot of 4 stars out there and 5 stars over the course of the country. So when you're at Ohio State or you're at, wherever these guys are from, if they've got a chance to win there, the pressure is going to be on whoever takes that Alabama job more than any other one.
And you would agree that if you're the first guy to follow the guy, like Barry followed Jimmy,
right,
which is just
Took a
unbelievable.
beating.
A beating, right. The second guy's got the better chance to succeed, you would think, right?
Correct.
So whoever gets the job this time, he's going to have to be a unique cat to
Exactly.
succeed, right?
And maybe that's a guy that has kind of proven himself but is younger, that has a chance to maybe a little smaller program, but has proven himself. You guys mentioned the guy at Kansas.
Leopold.
Now, I don't think it's going to be him because I don't know that he, has that much firepower. But, it could be somebody like that.
But in the case of Barry, he has 1 less ring than Jimmy does.
Yeah.
And they went back and won it.
Yeah,
you know?
but you or I could have coached that team.
I know, but he did.
Now, wait a minute.
No
you or I
offense.
could
He was
coach
the
that team.
defense.
He was the defensive
whoa,
coordinator.
You're Jerry Jones, for
Yeah.
crying out loud.
Yeah.
I proved that I couldn't coach that team.
Yeah, he was the D coordinator, so yeah. So
It was a little different team when you got it, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of D coordinators, let's take a timeout. When we come back, though,
Quincy Carter.
I do want to run through the comments. We mentioned it earlier in the program, Coach Campo, that our boy Gus posted a list of potential defense coordinator candidates for the Jaguars, and our Nooner Nation, our 1010XL listeners have responded accordingly. Let's run through some of those and get your take as well on the other side right here on XL Primetime, live from Okama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. You know, you can listen to 1010XL on your smart speaker.
Alexa, play 1010XL.
In fact, any speaker that plays 1010XL
1010XL
is pretty smart.
Unleash automotive excellence at Osteen Volkswagen of Jacksonville. Osteen Volkswagen is not just about cars, it's 27 years of family-owned operation and community. Visit Osteen Volkswagen today on Phillips Highway and at osteenvw.com.
Happy New Year, taco lovers. Don here from Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach. Football season is wrapping up, but Taco Lou is still cranking out the tacos. If your New Year's resolution is to get back in the gym, remember you can keep the workout going with a taco in each hand or a taco in one hand and a cold Dos Equis or margarita in the other. It's practically my entire exercise regimen. Well, maybe all of it. Anyway, come in, relax, and be ready for a great year. Happy New Year from all of us at Taco Lou.
Mia here, and gear up, sports fans. The NFL playoffs are here, and it's time to get in on the action with MyBookie. Don't just watch, score big with exclusive boosted odds and huge prize contests that'll have you feeling the Super Bowl fever before it even hits. Whether you're a seasoned pro or ready to roll for the first time, MyBookie is your ticket to turning your sports knowledge into cold, hard cash. MyBookie has the largest online lineup of odds and contests and Vegas-style casino games, making it your ultimate destination for all types of fun 24/7 right at your fingertips. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, the wait is over. Make your winning move today and sign up at MyBookie using promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit match up to $1,000. That's right, 1010XL promo code for an opportunity to boost your betting power. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home, because with MyBookie, you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Join MyBookie today and be part of the winning team.
Pacifico is brewed for those who let go of the things that don't matter and hold on to the ones that do. That's living life anchors up.
Pacifico, found in Baja, imported by surfers. Ask for a Pacifico when you're ready to live life anchors up.
Pacifico is a crisp golden lager, brewed for those who know. It's what's behind a label that matters.
Yeah, we wish we had his job too.
Exactly.
ESPN Jaguars reporter Mike DeRocco joins Jaguars Today every Thursday.
And that would be good.
Brought to you by Lloyd's Heating and Air. Commercial and residential on 1010XL.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Are you curious about QC Kinetics? Let me tell you what we do.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, a medical director at QC Kinetics.
We treat people who have joint pain, and we use your body's healing properties, the things that you already have in you, in your blood, to heal your knee pain, your joint pain, your shoulder pain, your back pain. You have everything that you need in you already.
The same natural process that heals a cut on your finger also works inside your body.
And so what we do at QC Kinetics is take those healing properties, concentrate them down from your body, and put them where they need to go. We are the experts in regenerative medicine. That's all we do.
And best of all, there's no surgery, no downtime, or harmful drugs.
This is the future of medicine.
And your consultation is completely free. Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
At Hidden Hills Golf Club, we truly love the game of golf. We invite you to book your next tee time here and enjoy a golfing experience that you might not find at other public facilities. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, things are happening in Tuscaloosa. This is from Schlabach and Chris Lowe, who was the one who broke the story about Nick Saban retiring. So Washington's Kalen DeBoer, who guided the Huskies to the Pac-12 championship and the national title game, is negotiating a contract to replace Nick Saban, sources told ESPN.
Whoa, that is big, ladies and gentlemen. Now, KDB, I call him because my daughter-in-law is KTB,
right.
KDB. And so this guy has had a meteoric rise, Matt, if he goes from where he was to Washington to the national championship game, which everyone obviously took notice, and now he goes into and by the way, you said, can he do it in the South? Yeah, he can. It's just a matter of can he do it there.
I mean,
that's
there's,
big, dude.
Is he Brian Harsin 2.0?
Yeah. That was a different deal. Boise State versus Washington.
It's the same thing you're talking about. A guy who's been in the West all his life, coming to the SEC and trying to figure out how to win there. And this is even
because listen,
a way harder job than Auburn.
An hour ago, I said Kalen DeBoer. No, I don't think so. That does not make sense to me. But
it's interesting. I'll tell you that. It's a big swing, is what it is. Mm-hmm.
And who is his agent again?
I don't know if it's Sexton or not.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
I don't know if it is.
Interesting. So, it should be noted, though, Coach, as we turn to you, Kalen DeBoer's overall coaching record, and granted, this is as the head coach of –
It is Jimmy Sexton.
It is Jimmy Sexton. There we go. As the head coach of Sioux Falls and Fresno State and then the University of Washington the last 2 years, his overall coaching record, 104-12. But again, Sioux Falls, Fresno State, Washington.
When I look at him, I kind of look at Napier, a little bit because
Tuscaloosa just got mad at Dave Campo right there.
But the thing that he does have the similar personality and everything to Nick. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, he's a grinder.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're looking for.
So he's got a pretty good image. And I think that's kind of probably where they might be leaning in that direction. But remember this, my good buddy, Mike Price, went from Washington State to Alabama, lasted 3 months. A little different situation, the strip club and this and that. I don't think DeBoer is going to get into that situation.
Yeah, destiny as they call it.
That's a Washington guy going to Alabama, so that doesn't bore well for them.
All right. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to say, when you talk about basically you're trying to hire a look, a personality, an organizational skill, along with the ability to go out and recruit. I mean, we're talking about a lot of boxes that you have to check personality-wise. I always like to point this out. You are a bit of a handshaker, okay, a baby kisser, much more than a head coach in the National Football League. National Football League, you don't have to deal with anything like that.
No, it's
in the college game, you got to embrace a lot of different areas.
Yes. So here's why I think this is a unique choice. Okay, I think as far as a coach, specifically as a coach, it's hard to argue with what he's done, both at the NAIA level, at the Group of 5 level, and at Washington. He's never been in a situation at a school that's going to have this kind of attention. Fresno State is Northern California. It's in the middle of the valley.
Mild.
It's in the middle of the valley. There's nothing going on there. Okay. Washington also is a very quiet job. That's why Chris Peterson took it. Why he left Boise State and went to Washington, because it's comparatively speaking, a very quiet job. Now he's getting thrown into the literal meat grinder, following the greatest coach in the history of coaching. Right?
49 years of age.
And now he's dealing with that monster that is Alabama football, with the as big monster that is the Alabama fan base. This is going to be a giant transition.
How long does he last?
Yeah.
Honestly,
he's also not recruiting. He's never recruited in the South. Okay, never.
According to Pete Thamel of ESPN, he more than doubled his salary.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you're looking at, okay, can I do this? Will I do this? Do I want to do this? That's one of the main reasons.
One of the reasons I brought up Mike Price is to be funny, but at the same time, the first thing that Mike said to me when he got there from Washington State, I called him and congratulated him, and he said, "You don't understand. I've got a private jet. I can go anywhere in the country. I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do this." And I thought to myself, slow down, baby. You got to win there.
He said that too, I'm pretty sure.
I did. I said, slow down, Mike. Hold on now.
He did say that later on down the road, a few months later.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you 100%. That's a different.
It's unlike anything Kalen DeBoer has ever imagined. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, so and I agree with everything as far as the enormity of it. And it's like we always say, you go to Gainesville, the expectations grow with whatever from Louisiana to Gainesville for Billy Napier. But this is a place that expects to win, has won, has many pelts that they're hanging. So if Kalen DeBoer can coach, and it appears he can, right? Because look at the players he had on that team, Matt. He may not be like the all-world recruiter, but look at the players that he had on that team and what he was able to do with Michael Penix. Granted, Michael Penix is like, what, 31? Something like that. So he's a little
he was also with Michael Penix in Indiana, so he knew him, he knew of him, knew how to develop him, knew how to coach him. He was in a very good situation.
He did a tremendous job with him.
Yeah.
And so you have to ask, and in some respects, I don't mind the fact that the athletics director said, you know what? I'm going to go against the grain here.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it had something to do with 4-0s like we've talked about, because it went so far. This is how far it went. There was chatter that Tommy Rees was moving up in the conversation. That's how far down that list they had gone. But anyway, it's a big swing. I like what I see from him, but I have no idea where they'll be successful.
It also
in the
was a
SEC.
$5 million buyout at Washington, as opposed to, I believe it would have been $22 million for Dan Lanning at
Way
Oregon.
affordable.
And obviously Phil Knight also threw a bag at Dan Lanning, and certainly Florida State now paying Mike Norvell, in case you missed it, $10 million a year. I don't know exactly what his buyout is, but the timing worked out well. UW also just got a new athletic director. Shout out to my old buddy, Troy Gannon, formerly of Northern Iowa and Tulane. And so the timing kind of worked out, I think, for Alabama to come in and poach if he really was their guy.
Okay, so here's another good question. When it's all said and done, will Dan Lanning regret that he stayed a Duck? And will Kalen DeBoer be happy that he's not a Husky? Or will it be, hey, I saw what was coming because I've been there, and I'm Dan Lanning, I'm saying.
The thing with Dan Lanning,
I just want to see how that unfolds between those two.
I mean, they're headed to the Big Ten. So he's headed to one of the two big conferences. So there's that. Check. The thing with Dan Lanning is, like, if he really is an SEC guy, what's the other SEC job he would take?
Yeah, he's the one who had.
Like, is he going to settle for an Ole Miss?
He had more alignment.
He
had
a
more
Mississippi
perfect,
State?
Yeah, he ain't leaving Oregon for those.
No, he's only leaving for Georgia, and Kirby ain't going anywhere.
Right, so he had more perfect alignment there.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, want to make sure we save enough time to run through these coaching candidates, get Coach Campo's take, defense coordinator for the Jags. Who could they be looking at? Who would be a good fit? Let's do it in our final segment from Okama Beer Company on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
You want easy, you want simple, you want to be appreciated. Am I right? Then you want Arlington Toyota. You know, people ask me all the time, Mia, why buy from Arlington Toyota? And when they do, here is what I tell them. Let's start with peace of mind. When you buy any new Toyota from Arlington, their lifetime warranty goes with you. That's unlimited time and miles. If you're shopping pre-owned, Arlington's 30-day exchange program is just for you. That's 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it for one that you do. And if you're ready to feel appreciated, then just bring your car to Arlington for service and you'll get a complimentary car wash too. Plus, your car will feel like new every time. Arlington Toyota is Jacksonville's family-owned and operated dealer for over 45 years. And with a 4.7 out of 5-star rating and over 18,000 Google reviews, now you know why you should buy from Arlington. It's so easy. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender.
Rick Ballou.
I would be so happy to be of service to you.
Rick Ballou takes you into the night.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Weeknights on 1010XL.
If it's time to update your old, unreliable AC system, then make the bold move to Bold City Heating and Air. Local family ownership means Bold City AC can provide fast, premium service with a more competitive price. And listen to this. Call to get your new AC system installed this month and take advantage of 12 months with no payments and no interest financing. That's a whole year of no payments with no interest on your new AC system. So be comfortable, be bold, and schedule a free estimate today at boldcityac.com.
Whether it's a large commercial project or a multifamily property, trust All Pro Roofing for exceptional craftsmanship and unparalleled customer service. We use only the finest materials, ensuring durability and long-lasting results. Plus, All Pro Roofing now has a full siding and windows division. That's right, All Pro Roofing is not just about roofs anymore. All Pro Roofing, now your trusted partner for commercial roofing, multifamily projects, exterior siding, and windows. AllProRoofingLLC.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138. The Jacksonville Icemen are back at home this Friday and Saturday for Lizard Kings weekend. That's right, the Icemen will throw it back to the 90s to pay tribute to the Lizard Kings by wearing special themed jerseys. Come out and relive your days from the Reptilian Pavilion, Friday and Saturday at 7 at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. Get tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksIcemen.com, or call 904-602-PUCK. Icemen hockey is #Fire Within.
Ready to spice up your Wednesday? Head to Players Grill for Wing Wednesday. Enjoy mouth-watering wings for just 75 cents each. Plus, make it a happy hour all day long. Cheers to unbeatable deals and good times. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
1010XL is the home of Gator Nation and the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. I'm Hacker, and we keep you connected with the University of Florida all year long. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
Frank Frangie here. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, and I love living here. But I also know how bad bugs are in Florida. So I trust Orange Environmental Services to handle all my pest control needs because they've got the best technicians and effective treatment. Their name may be orange, but they think green. Orange Environmental has been serving the First Coast for over 50 years, and they now offer complete lawn maintenance services. Call Orange Environmental Services for peace of mind from bug problems today. Call them at 272-3284. That's 272-3284.
Were you forced into a nosebleed mortgage rate in this past year? Loan Pronto is here to rescue you. Hey, it's Prosser. Listen, if your mortgage rate is over 7, you're going to be in heaven with Loan Pronto's zero-cost refi. You can cut your house payment by hundreds of dollars and even do it with zero closing costs and no appraisal. Rates have plummeted to the lowest point in nearly 12 months, and it's time to say goodbye to that bad loan you got stuck with. Loan Pronto's got APRs with fixed rates in the 5s. So don't live with that record high a day longer. You can lock in a lower rate now with virtually no paperwork or cost involved. Call now and see how much lower you can get your house payment. Refi now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call for a free 30-second quote, 904-999-1508. At loanpronto.com, you can find out more. 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari, at Bari Orthopedics.
Ready
Ready to turn game day into payday? Head to Aces Sports Bar in Best Bet St. Augustine for the ultimate win. Catch all the NFL and college football games on our big screens and play your hand at the tables. Plus, anytime a touchdown is scored, someone wins $100 during select games with Best Bet St. Augustine's Lucky Seat Cash giveaway. Visit bestbetjacks.com for full details.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars linebacker Josh Allen set a franchise record with 17.5 sacks in 2023. Former Jaguars linebacker Tom McManus this morning on Jaguars Today on the Pro Bowl season for Josh Allen.
It's not just the sacks. He was in the backfield all year long. He was a disruptive force all year long. And guess what? He did it with not much pressure from his counterparts on the inside. He did get a lot of help from Trayvon. Trayvon's turned out to be a hell of a player. His technique's getting really good. He's going to be a beast, in my opinion. So, no, Josh had a tremendous season.
Tom McManus this morning on Jaguars Today. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So after having two of their requested names blocked to interview for defense coordinator in Ejiro Evero of the Carolina Panthers and Ryan Nielsen of the Atlanta Falcons, the Jaguars finally have been granted an interview for the open defensive coordinator position. That is with Chris Hewitt, the longtime defensive assistant coach to John Harbaugh in Baltimore and considered, as of the last two seasons, their pass game coordinator and secondary coach. Has never been a defensive coordinator, Coach Campo, but he was the passing defensive coordinator. Can you explain / do you know anything else about Chris Hewitt that we should know about?
Well, first of all, that's the new thing. You know, you got all kinds of coordinators to make sure that you keep guys and also you can keep them from going to other places with lateral moves. So you give them these different titles. I don't know exactly what that means. I do know, though, that one of the problems you have when you decide to make a move like that, it's not, you just can't go get the guy you want. You have to get who's available. And obviously, if the guy's never been a defensive coordinator, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. But, again, obviously someone's recommended him. I think people like what Baltimore's doing on defense, and that the guys that have been there, that have gone on, have been pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why he's being looked at.
There's nothing wrong with going to where they're good.
Right.
In other words, that's where you go dig for gold, where there's gold.
Right.
And the Ravens have been very successful. They've had a pipeline, and we can go, heck, they promoted within with Ozzie Newsome and kept another guy that knew how to identify talent, and they've continued to identify talent.
Right.
But the only thing that I would be a little worried about is this whole notion that Doug Peterson is going to hand the reins defensively to somebody that he won't have to worry about, Matt. And I would be cautious, okay? There was a first-timer here that 2 years into it, they looked at it and said, you're not putting all the work in, and they dumped the staff, basically. Now, would they give another first year or another guy a first opportunity? Not saying it would be
right. I think Dave makes a great point, and this could be applicable to the Alabama job as well. You can't just go get the guy you want. Mm-hmm. It's got to be a guy that's available. And look, I don't know. I would much rather have a guy where you're clear. Look, this is his track record. This is what he's done. This is your hire. Mm-hmm. But how many guys are out there?
Yeah.
How many guys are out there where you can do that? So then if you're saying, all right, then you need to take a chance with someone, then I would still rather have a chance with someone, even if it's a college guy.
Right.
Even if it's like Mike McDonald, who worked a couple of years with the Ravens before he went to Michigan and did great work in Michigan.
Right.
Someone like that. But, I mean, it's they're in a difficult spot right now if they can't get the guy they want because he wants to go somewhere else, like Leslie Frazier, whatever it is.
And I'm going to say Leslie may just need to go through the hiring cycle. The one negative about Coach getting a big name, meaning a proven name, it's not like all these openings are going to say, hey, we got to get a defensive guy. Gerard Mayo's the first one that gets hired, and he's a defensive guy. But at the same time, Leslie may have to wait that out.
Exactly. And that's a situation that you deal with every year when someone leaves. You have to sift through everything and make sure a guy's available and whether or not is he going to get blocked because it's an upward mobility move, or what are they going to do?
Yeah.
So and believe me, I don't believe this is the only interview they're going to have. So I don't know this guy. I do know that Baltimore plays pretty good defense, and they have for a lot of years. So I think it's probably somebody. Listen. Nick Saban, when I was out of a job at Cleveland when Butch left, he interviewed me for the coordinator job down there, and Muschamp was in there at the same time, and I knew when I walked in that Muschamp was going to get the job. But he was finding out some stuff about what we were doing.
Which is the same reason that Baltimore requested an interview with Press Taylor one off-season ago. Sometimes it's about the intel.
Yeah, exactly.
A fact-finding Michigan.
Absolutely.
Hear how others approach it. All right, so if you're looking at, let's just hit them as fast as we can. Matt mentioned Mike McDonald, Ravens defensive coordinator. He's among the list the Falcons are looking at. Ben Johnson's going to be on a lot of people's list. Bobby Slowick is.
These are for head coaching positions.
Yeah, for head coaching. In other words, you're looking, because I believe this, unfortunately, if you're going to get and Leslie Frazier is going to be included on interview lists because it meets the minority rule, the Rooney rule. And so if you want a guy like that who absolutely can take over the defense, you're going to have to wait it out. And so if you look at, I'm just looking at these names, Aaron Glenn, Lions defensive coordinator, another guy. You're not going to get him because that's a lateral move. He's being looked at as a head coach. But the fact that Frazier has been out and is now getting back in, that actually helps Jacksonville.
So what I think is interesting, and again, just scrolling through, we put it out there to see what you 1010 listeners are thinking. It's so fascinating because I think there's a large camp, in support of Leslie Frazier, an established defense coordinator. There's certainly those of you who think Mike Zimmer or Wink Martindale needs to come in here to whip some tail and whip some sense into the Jags. But then still so many also suggest Ejiro Evero, who, again, 2 years as a defense coordinator, the interview with the Jags blocked for now because he's interviewing for Carolina's full-time position. Of course, David Tepper did not make him the interim head coach when he could have done that. And then that
to at least test the waters.
At least test the waters and see if he would be a potential fit as head coach. And so it's interesting because, and Demetrius Harvey of the Times-Union just tweeted this out, for everybody who thought they have to go the established old man route, clearly by the names they've requested, that's not necessarily the case.
And that's why I've always said it's got to be somebody that's compatible with the head coach. It's one thing to want the discipline, but you don't want somebody on your staff, unless you're pretty confident in what you're doing, that commands kind of the same that you do. In other words, there's a lot of things involved. Plus, the teams that have gotten let go, Evero is a perfect example. They're not going to let him go anywhere until they hire the next head coach.
Yeah, and did he learn under Wilkes before Wilkes left? Because
no, he's part of the whatchamacallit. He was in San Francisco.
Okay.
He was under that trade.
Oh, so Wilkes goes out there, and then he came to.
Yeah, they flip-flopped, so they actually weren't together. No.
So even if he's not interviewing for head coaching jobs, he won't interview as a defensive coordinator because he's already been a defensive coordinator, and they're not going to let him go until the Falcons hire the next coach, and he makes a decision whether or not he keeps him. I went through it. I went under the table with Del Rio because, I had to sit there till they hired the coach from the Patriots who were in the Super Bowl. And I knew he wasn't going to hire me because he was a 3-4 guy, and I was a 4-3 guy. But I had to sit there until he was hired after the Super Bowl. But I had already brokered a little deal because of association, which you're not supposed to do. But with Del Rio, who played for me.
Statute of limitations have gone by from that 2004 hire.
Yeah,
right?
and really, Tom Coughlin called me the day it broke that I wasn't going to be hired. and wanted me to come to the Giants, and I'd already gotten the deal. So you just can't get who you want unless you want to wait sometimes. And so, do you want to wait? That's the key.
Yeah, and you got to hope. That's all.
Frazier's an example.
Exactly.
He's going to go through all the head coaching deals.
And I don't blame him because you never know.
Right.
That's for sure. All right, we are wrapping ours up. Mocama Beer Company had a great time today. We'll brag on them one more time before we are done, and then we will say hello to the Franchise Show coming up next as they're getting ready for the River City Rumble.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Happy New Year from my friends at Duck Duck Rooter. You know that plumbing issue you put off during the holiday season? Check it off the New Year's resolution list and let Duck Duck Rooter help. They can help with anything plumbing and septic related, no matter the size or issue. Give them a call today at 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769. You can also check them out online at duckduckrooter.com. For a worry-free year ahead, trust my friends at Duck Duck Rooter.
You can find 1010XL on any social media platform: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. At 1010XL.
Mia here, and gear up, sports fans. The NFL playoffs are here, and it's time to get in on the action with MyBookie. Don't just watch, score big with exclusive boosted odds and huge prize contests that'll have you feeling the Super Bowl fever before it even hits. Whether you're a seasoned pro or ready to roll for the first time, MyBookie is your ticket to turning your sports knowledge into cold, hard cash. MyBookie has the largest online lineup of odds and contests and Vegas-style casino games, making it your ultimate destination for all types of fun 24/7 right at your fingertips. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, the wait is over. Make your winning move today and sign up at MyBookie using promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit match up to $1,000. That's right, 1010XL promo code for an opportunity to boost your betting power. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home, because with MyBookie, you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Join MyBookie today and be part of the winning team.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. Want the freshest seafood in town? From mahi to tuna to scallops to oysters. Mayport CNC Fisheries is in Atlantic Beach. Do what I did. Go enjoy Mayport CNC Fisheries.
Wondering what you're going to do for dinner tonight? Southern Steer Butcher is a full-service butcher, and we grind and make sausage in-house every day.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Malfunctions in your electrical panel can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8 Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Fish are good at hiding. Captain Kevin can help you find them.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
Thursday nights at 6.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss on 1010XL AM.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida, and don't let the state decide your fate.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly. I would recommend QC to anybody. QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Don't miss the biggest basketball rivalry in the city as your UNF Ospreys host the JU Dolphins in the River City Rumble. Friday, January 12th at UNF Arena. North Florida opens ASUN Conference play at home with JU, and this is a blue out. So remember to wear your blue. Friday, January 12th at UNF Arena, tipping off at 7. Get tickets at UNFOspreys.com. UNFOspreys.com. Swoop.
When the sun goes down, you might think a golf course shuts down, but not at the Golf Club of Southampton. Join the gang every Thursday night for trivia with Brooke and Jason, and everybody's favorite night, Friday night on the patio, featuring local musicians, food, and drink. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton. Great golf. You've come to expect that. But don't forget, when night falls, the fun doesn't stop. Trivia every Thursday night and Southampton's live music patio session Fridays. Call 287-PLAY to make a tee time and the good time.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the 2-minute drill. Brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit tireoutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
Well, in the aftermath of the Jaguars' stunning loss to the Titans Sunday, I don't think anyone has done a better job of marketing than the University of North Florida. All of the pleas to take your playoff ticket money, come to the River City Rumble tonight. I've heard tons of people that are headed that way. The Frangie Show is already on location, boots on the ground at UNF Arena. Lauren Brooks joining us now. Lauren, how are we feeling about the Rumble Part 1?
I think it's going to be a fantastic game. Yes, we're here at UNF and just watched a little bit of the UNF shoot-around. Always fun to see that. But look, I think it's smart for UNF to make that, ask of people, because what else are you doing tonight? It's going to be raining. You may as well come watch some basketball. And if you've never been to either UNF or JU for the Rumble, you are missing out.
Yes, the Ospreys won in convincing fashion over a Florida Gulf Coast squad over the weekend by 20 points. That's the same Florida Gulf Coast team, boys, that beat FAU, who at the time was a top 10 team just 2 weeks ago. And so you couple that with a 1-point loss literally at the buzzer to Stetson 2 nights prior. As much as so many question Matthew Driscoll's roster, with so many of them leaving for lucrative NIL deals elsewhere, he may have something cooking with this young squad, Lauren. I'm excited to see it.
Well, Birds of Trey, Mia, as you know, there's a reason that this team has had that moniker for quite some time, years and years now. And that's because, they are really good from the three-point line, and we're watching some of them shoot now, and it's always fun to watch. So we're going to get into all things college basketball. Certainly the Rumble is going to be a blast to discuss. We'll talk college football, obviously the blockbuster that came down during y'all's show. We'll talk NFL, and it is nice, by the way, that all of these moves as far as both college and the NFL have kept us distracted from all of the Jaguars' woes that happened last weekend. And so, we've got a lot to do. And Pete Prisco will join us at 4 o'clock.
Fantastic. Excuse me, Lauren. Wow, my voice changed there thanks to the beautiful Krabby Fries here at Mocama.
Thanks,
5.5-point line. The Ospreys are favored. Yes, you can get in on that action at MyBookie if you are so interested. Looking forward to it, Lauren.
All right, have a great weekend, y'all.
Without further ado, JJ.
Now, today's takeaways, brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
A couple quick takeaways for me. I see a lot of routes in the playoffs this weekend. And Kalen DeBoer, terrific football coach, but a big, big gamble for Alabama.
I'll follow that takeaway with good luck with that. It could be your dream job. It could be a nightmare. He has the look of a good coach, but does he know what he's getting into? So we'll find out. That was crazy.
I would say, the clock has started on 2024 for the Jaguars. They have their first defensive coordinator interview today. I want to wish them the best of luck because we need to get somebody there that can keep us going.
And as we were just talking about off the air, Coach, John Harbaugh, Doug Peterson, they go back a long way. Wink Martindale previously employed Chris Hewitt as well as the defense coordinator, so as much as maybe it's not the old head many thought it would be for that first interview, there's a lot of ties there, and of course, many more interviews to come. Real quick, too, does Ryan Grubb go with Kalen DeBoer, Matt, to Alabama, or would he be available to,
No,
I don't know.
Coach. He's Washington's coach, I would think.
Oh, I was hoping he would.
He'll move up.
I was hoping he would go back to Iowa and coordinate the offense.
My guess is he moves up and he's their next coach.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We had a great time. We got to say a big thanks to Mocama Beer Company, and certainly you'll enjoy the experience here, whether you come in just for coffee, relax, do a little work while you're here, enjoying the tap room, and Tuesday through Sunday, that delicious craft I just tried a smoky Polish beer. They got so many different ones to choose from, but make sure you drop on by or log on Mocama.com. They've got the Wildlight location, and of course right here on South 8th in Fernandina. We are done. Joe C., me O'Brien, Matty Hayes, Coach Campo for Big Surse, and we send it back to JJville with our normal Friday anthem. Enjoy it, everybody, even though your Jags, unfortunately, aren't in the Super Wildcard weekend.
Come on, Joe. That ain't good enough. You gotta suck the blood out my mouth. Let's go, baby. Whoa!
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
I want rustlers, cutthroats, bounty hunters, desperados, nitwits, halfwits, dimwits,